could be with anyone, you're here with me. You're here with me. You could be around for
You could be with anyone, and I could be with anyone. You're here with me. You're here with me.
What? Welcome back to the show. Oh, white spell. Got me looking tacky up on this drone. Welcome to the show. This is a Tuesday night calling show where I get to hear what you guys have to say about sister wives, seeking sister wives, whatever you want to talk about. You have 2 hot minutes to get up here and say what you got to say, give your perspective, give your point of view. It's awesome. Sorry, I'm a little late tonight, guys. I got into a little jabberjaw session at one of the voting polls. Today is voting day, so make sure you get out there and cast your ballot. Get your voices heard. That's the most important thing, irregardless of your political position or political leanings, whatever the case may be. Without your word in the mix, you know, like they say, if you don't have a seat at the table, you what's for dinner. So you want to make sure that you get your voice heard, you get your seat at the table, and you get recognized. So today is voting day. Make sure you handle that business. All right. And of course, most important elections, and I'm not just saying this as a local official, but the local elections are honestly the most important elections. Your local and state elections are your most important elections because, you know, the presidential stuff is fun to talk about. Federal stuff is fun to talk about. But at the end of the day, how those funds are allocated towards you as a constituent are decided on the federal or the state and local level. The federal government will say, like, Pennsylvania, Florida, New York, Wyoming, Utah, here's a block of money for this particular program, whatever they're running out. And your governor, your state and senators and representatives, all the way down to your commissioners, supervisors, whatever, they decide how that money is going to be spent. So it's important to get that out. Just wanted to give that little bit of a PSA. If you guys can hear me, you can see me. Go ahead, drop that 1 in the chat to make sure that I can be seen and heard. And I didn't just do that for no reason, which would be terrible. All that said for nothing. It's just in the ether, James. It doesn't even matter anymore. All right. But let's. Okay, I got some ones. Awesome. Yeah, it was interesting for me. Just because I don't just do I don't just get on my soapbox on YouTube. I actually apply it to local politics more or less. And part of my jabberjaw jacking earlier, which caused me to be a little late, was I actually ran into somebody I guess would be my political rival. I guess I don't really consider that because in local politics, we're all neighbors anyway. You know what I mean? We're all neighbors anyway. So the parties really don't matter. And I was actually touched by one of the things that they had said. And it's something that I've said or shared here on the channel. And I was talking about the power of the microphone and the responsibility you have because we had a representative who actually got caught up in some nonsense. Local rep got caught up in some national news nonsense. And they were talking about it all over YouTube. It was crazy. I'm not going to say her name. I'm not going to embarrass her. And during that time, I was just saying, you know, we have a responsibility with the power of the microphone and the platform that we're given, even in politics or YouTube or whatever, we have a responsibility. And that's one of the things that I actually wanted to kind of touch on tonight. And I will be addressing in an upcoming short form video. That's right. James is going to start rolling short form videos back out. It'll be about 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes long. You guys can check those out, where I'm going to address different issues, whether it's sister wives or motivational stuff or whatever the case may be. I'm going to do it in those short form videos, especially after I get my little studio together. I have some things I'm doing for that. But speaking of the power of the microphone, I wanted to get you guys' take. And obviously you guys can talk about, when you call for your 2 minutes, you can talk about, you know, the show or whatever you want to talk about the show. That's fine. But I also wanted to get your take about the impact, speaking about the power of the microphone and the platforms that we have. The sister wives have enjoyed a huge platform. They get millions of views every week. Millions of people tune in every week to watch them and their shenanigans, right? And beyond that, I think that their influence can't be denied. And when we talk about their influence, we're not just talking about them influencing people to wear this or, sign up for LuLaRoe or, the other multi-level marketing businesses they're in. I'm talking about their influence as far as how public perception of cultural dating is perceived. So when we talk about like the idea of polygamy, and they came out and when they started, they've been saying that how awesome this is and how Cody's a good man and how he's superhuman. He's better than a guy who only has one family. He has, you know, basically four different families and he's trying to combine them into one family, and he's like super involved with all his kids because for Cody Brown, the concept of 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week does not apply because he has 18 kids and he can give each one of them individual time, all the individual time and attention that they need in order for them to be successful, because he has the power of the polygamous marriage. And that was what was pushed out to us. So in respect of that, and in respect of the conversation that I just had, talking about the power of the microphone, how much culpability do all of them have? Not just Cody and Robin, but I'm talking about Cody, Robin, Christine, Mary, Janelle. How much responsibility do they have when it comes down to it? Because even now, they don't really down talk the concept of polygamy in general, foundationally. They just say that they aren't going to do polygamy. But you spent the last 20 seasons talking about how awesome polygamy was. So now that you're coming out, but like, for me, I'm not going to do it. If I came out and was talking about how great tobacco products were and how they're awesome and they're amazing, and oh yeah, you go out, it's like you're catching a breath. That's what it is. You're not taking a smoke break. You're out there in the parking lot catching a breath. You're breathing deep. You're feeling the world. You have time to think and reflect and just kind of contemplate existence. And then after I said all that and talked about how cool it was and how awesome it was and how I help you get babes, if I'm Cody Brown, I've got an email. People asking about joining the family, right? And then I say, oh yeah, by the way, I just don't do it. That's not me saying that anything I said or anything I presented was wrong or flawed. That's just merely saying, yeah, it's amazing, but I choose not to participate in it. It's just not for me. And that's kind of where we are with a lot of the things that they're doing. So my question is, do they have any culpability when it comes down to it? Do they have any culpability? Are they responsible for that? I mean, even if they had one family who, went along with, openness as a possibility, or thought it was interesting because, they saw the Browns doing it and look easy and fun, and the logical arguments that they made sense. Do they have any responsibility? Just curious. All right. Let me see. Megatron had something to say. Let's see. Megatron say, yeah, the power of the mic is wild. The theory I shared the other night here is all over the blogs and Facebook today. Be careful how you word things, people. LOL. So glad I worded it as a theory. And that's important. Yeah, that's important. Because, I mean, as crazy as it is, like, I get it. And that's why I do my speak pipe the way I do, where I give you guys the option to be able to leave your name or don't, or have your messages played or not. Because in the world we live in, the power of the microphone isn't just impactful because it's influential, but it can be impactful personally, professionally, in all those ways as well. Because you could say something on a hot mic and people don't like it, and they start calling your job. They find out who you are. You know what I mean? Like the internet, it has no chill. And they super sleuths are like Sherlock Holmes. They will be looking in your background and checking, like zooming in on stuff and like, what is they, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And they will find your shit. They will find you out. There's been a lot of people, intentionally put up wrong names. And they usually see them in the FIFO videos where they intentionally put up wrong names or wrong like accounts that are deceptive because they're directing people to different like names, fake names or whatever. And they be like, who's this person? They said something terrible. And then the people get on it. All of a sudden, they not only have their name, age, birth date, the place they work, who they live with, their marriage status, all that, who they took to the prom. They got all the information. So the power of the microphone is crazy because it's not just power in the sense that you can influence people, but I think that there has to be a certain level of, the Peter Parker, Stan Lee, Spider-Man saying, with great power comes great responsibility. When you have the power of the microphone, you have the power of influence, you have a huge platform. It is your duty to make sure you take care of the people whom you are presenting these messages to. That's part of the reason why on this channel, like even in line with what Megatron said, I try to be as accurate as I can possibly be when it comes to information or news. Like I don't put out, like I don't just get a blurb, see something on the rags or the YouTube and just blurt it out as fact and say that, yeah, this is what's going on, or this is how it's happening, or this is what Cody is about, or Robin is about. I always preface it by saying that if it's my opinion, I make it very clear that it's my opinion. It's not something that, especially if I can't prove it, I have every reason to think that this thing is true, but I don't have the hard evidence to say this is how I know it's true for sure. And I can prove it. I make it very clear that this is my opinion. But yeah, Megatron. See, and I appreciate folks for watching the channel, going to other channels or other outlets, and sharing things that you may have heard here, like what Megatron was saying. The only thing I would ask, I don't even mind if you say other channels on the channel. The only thing I would ask is if you go to another channel and you share ideas or things, concepts or presentations that were brought up here, say the name of the channel. Hook a brother up. And definitely help a brother out. You know what I mean? HBO special. I mean, get some more eyes on over here. You know what I mean? Don't give them the watered down. Give them the pure stuff, that unfiltered. But thank you so much. We have some super chats come in real quick, and then we're going to get to the phone calls because I want to get you guys in. Jody Periscalia. With the $4.99 super chat, Jody Periscalia. Let's get some hearts in the chat for Jody because Jody shows up and she shows out all the time. So let's get some hearts in the chat for Jody before I read her message. I don't even know what she said. She might be like, "F you, James." Maybe I should start reading them first before I say, "Yeah, give them some hearts in the chat support." Nah, but Jody a real one. She's cool, people. All right, Jody Periscalia, $4.99 super chat. James, I can't get the show anymore with streaming. I am so glad, just here for the fun. Yeah, you know what, Jody, I feel you on that. I feel you on that because just recently I had like two like awakenings, I call them signs. We'll call them signs for right now. Okay, we'll call them signs. I was sitting in my boudoir, contemplating my finances, and then I was anointed with a sign. Right, I got a sign, like, because I started thinking about it, like sister wives and stuff, like where the show is going, how it's going, and how it's being perceived. And just then, I was I went to the provider I use so that I can see the Sunday night show when it drops on Sunday. And they talking about they're going to charge a additional premium for me to watch Sister Wives. What? So y'all going up? And I gotta like, and then that made me take a look at the money that I'm already spending. And I'm like, the only thing I use this streaming thing for real, is Sister Wives. And the way they're doing the show, I'm honest. I keep it all the way above on the channel. I mean, I say it how I sees it. I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't know if the show is really worth it. You know, like there are cheaper ways that I can get it. You can get Discovery, I think, for like $12. Um, you can get HBO, I think that's relatively cheaper. But the streaming service I'm using, I'm paying significantly more than $12. Just so that I have the privilege to be able to watch it on Sunday as opposed to Monday or Tuesday or, after the show airs. And I'm like, when it comes down to it, I'm even looking at that $12 because I don't watch a lot of the TLC stuff anymore because like I was a big 90-day person and they're just basically running it out so that they're turning them into social media personalities on 90 Day. So their storylines are dried up and corny and stupid. And it's just not worth it. So I'm looking at it like, I don't know. This might be my last. This might be my last season. I don't know. Maybe I'll still do the Sunday night show, but I don't know if I'm going to keep that streaming service because it's like fiscally it's not worth it. It's really turning into a thing where it's not worth my time. And a lot of the criticism that I have, because I know some folks were a little, James, why are you criticizing them all the time? The criticism that I have for them are things that they can improve. Like you can do this better and make it more interesting, make it more palpable for me to watch. But at the same time, if you guys aren't willing to invest in the show, why am I spending my hard-earned money on some shit? You know what I mean? Like I work hard for my twos and fews. I could be spending that money somewhere else. I don't have, I'm not like the Brown family. I don't do like deals, real estate deals, and just walk away from hundreds of thousands of dollars because it'd be inconvenient and it might hurt somebody's feelings for me to ask for my investment. Right? I don't want to be a bitch and ask for the money that I invested. The return on the money that I invested. I don't want to be a jerk. Like bump that. I don't have that kind of money. Like it still trips me out when Janelle and Mary are cool with just walking away with basically buying Cody and Robin a house. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know where they from, but where I'm from, shit. People will show up. You owe them. You don't even have to owe them like hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can owe them hundreds of dollars. Like some places I've seen in my lifetime, you could owe people tens of dollars. And they might show up on you, pull up on your ass. So walking away from like like $200,000, $300,000 and be like, oh well, I guess I just lost that. Oh no, we are calling the attorney. They're gonna give me some of that. I'm getting this money some way, somehow. Either I get this money out your bank account, I'm getting it out your behind. Like there's no way in the world I'm walking away from $300,000 and being cool with it. And if I do have to walk away with from a $300,000 investment, like $150,000 to $300,000 investment, if I have to walk away from that money, we are never going to be friends again. Like you can't, if you in the street, you better see me before I see you. Because if I see you, it's going to be some furniture moving around. Because there's no way in the world I'm walking from like Janelle and them. Y'all mature. Y'all got the maturity. But I'm with you, Jody. But Jody, on good news, I started doing a video format I'm very excited about. I don't want to share it right now because like Megatron said, it'll wind up on somewhere else before I get a chance to drop it. But I was very excited about doing this new video content that I've been talking about rolling out. And I'm taking advice from you guys or some of the feedback that you guys gave me, and I finished it, I completed, polished it up, and based off of some of the responses I had from you guys on some of the other videos that I put out that were similar, I decided to rework everything. So it'll take a little longer than I hope, but we're going to be doing some new content. Well, I should say, not even so much new content. We're going to be doing additional content that will add more flavor, depth, and dimension to the channel. So I hope you guys enjoy that. But thank you so much, Jody. Appreciate you. Let me give you a little something, something. Hold up. Where's my something, somethings? Can't have my something, somethings in the closet. You know what I mean? Can't have my something, somethings in a closet.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
You don't put baby in the corner. You know what I mean? Can't put baby in the corner. Thank you so much, Jody. We also had another super chat from Michelle Woods up in the house. Let's get some hearts in the chat for Michelle. Michelle. All right. Michelle in the house. What's up? Hi, James. How are you? I sent you an email of David and his wife from Pop Psych interviewing McKelty and Tony. Okay. It's almost an hour long. Did you see? No, I did not see it. I'll check it out, though. Okay. They're interviewing McKelty and Tony. Okay. Coming up. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that heads up. Let's get some hearts in the chat for Michelle Woods in the house. Thanks for letting me know. I'll look for it. Then we had Treasure. Treasure became a YouTube member. Thank you, Treasure. Welcome, welcome. You make sure you join us on the Sundays or Sundays on Saturday afternoon, noontime, Eastern Standard Time. We have the round table. You're more than welcome to come in, come up, join in. It's awesome. We talk about everything. Not just sister wives. So it's a genuine, organic conversation. All right, with the members. So thank you so much. All right. So I am going to put the link in. All right, there's the link. So that's cool. So yeah, I guess Pop Psych got McKelty and Tony to contact them for a little talk, chat. I know it's with the competitive nature of YouTube, I know there's some people probably losing their minds. How come they gonna contact them? That ridiculous. They should contact me. And all of a sudden, all the coverage on the family is gonna be super soft. Moving forward. Oh, they might be on my show. Oh, I don't want to say nothing to offend nobody. You know what I mean? But I also recognize, even with that, you know, and isn't a shot. It just is just business. Like there's power in a microphone, there's power in a platform. At the end of the day, between like some of the people who do the sister wives, the cast members, or even the people who are like just outside the cast members, like McKelty, Maddie, they might do YouTube interviews with some of us. Just because it helps to generate and get the word out, like especially if you're a popular YouTuber. I think Pop Psych and I started about the same time. His channel took off, mine not so much. But so he would be a person, and he would have a following that maybe if they could talk to him, they get a benefit by having that conversation with him. So I understand why they would reach out to him or why they would do that interview with him. So I'm not mad about that. It is what it is. But it definitely benefits them. But the only thing I would ask, and you know, from other content creators, stop. You know, I don't want to be an asshole because it's going to sound like I'm hating, but I'm not. Don't do the interviews and compromise your integrity by doing so. I didn't see their interview, so I'm not talking about them. But don't do soft shoe interviews or discussions with cast members if you have the opportunity to talk to them. Ask them real questions. Dig into real issues. Because if you're not doing that, I'm going to be blunt about this. The show is in decline. The show is dying. Okay. And you, as a content creator, yeah, you will get bumps in numbers if you're doing all these interviews, if you're the go-to person for the for sister wives people. But what good is that if you have contacts or a way in to interview people from a dying show, a show that nobody's watching anymore? You know, the only way that they like there's a thing of or concept of purity by fire. Like they have to have some hard questions asked so that they can get some clarification. Realistically, there are too many things that they say that are contradictory to previous statements. Like they'll say one thing one week. Like just as an example, I have to do a short form video on this, I'm giving away ideas, y'all. This my downfall. This is why my channel's so small. But um yeah, that and another thing. But you give away like you watch Christine as a for instance. And I said this. If you dislike Christine or you have questions about Christine, she came out, you could make the claim that she's being disingenuous. She came out first. She was one of the people who spearheaded and talked about the importance of the family, how she was committed to the family. Then when she left, she talked about like Cody's a good man and this is a great family and it works because Cody's so good and he spends his time and he spreads his time out. Then when she was ready to leave, take the money for her house, take Truly away out of the state. Cody's a terrible man. He's a horrible person. He's a bad father. He's a bad husband. He's just a terrible, mean, evil person. Then she gets to Utah. She gets set up. She gets married. Everything is moving forward. Now they're trying to save the show. And you get the, well, he's a good man. You know, and these are inconsistent statements. Now, here's the thing. I think that it can all be explained if you dig into it. You ask the questions, you put her in a seat, you ask the questions that we would have about the inconsistencies of her statements and why she says one thing and then she changes to another and then she changes back. You can ask those questions and you can get an answer, and it can be very comprehensive, and it can help her to explain what her line of thinking on where she was in those particular times. And there would be no fault of hers. It would be no fault of her own. However, if you just leave it right where it is on the surface level, it looks like she's being deceptive. It looks like she's planning this out. So you're not doing this because you're looking out for the best interests of the family or your kids or whatever the case may be. You're doing this because at the time it was financially advantageous for you to get on the show. So you talked about how awesome the family was. Then you realize that with Cody's unpopularity, you made a break from Cody. You took your money. You basically went off to be with your kids in Utah, and it was financially advantageous for you to do that, for you to break away and for him to be a horrible person, and you to set the what Cody would say, especially depending on when you talk to him, that you turn the fan base, and more important, he'll say the family, but he means the fan base, against him and Robin, because it was financially advantageous. Now that you've met David and the show is dying, it's financially advantageous for Cody to be a good man and for you to hook your husband up with him, to go hang out with him and to talk and chat and be best friends and go riding on the Razor in Moab, right? That'll be awesome because it's financially advantageous. And that's if you leave it on the surface. All I'm saying is, when you have these opportunities to have these conversations, I'm not saying the arguments, I'm not saying the interrogations, I'm just saying discussions. You're having these discussions, not debates, discussions where you can openly communicate and talk to these people. Take full advantage of it. If you like them and you want to help them, you're not helping them by giving them soft shoe interviews. You're helping them if you hold their feet to the fire so that way they can purge away any negative aspects or any negative views that the audience or somebody may try to hold against them in the future. You're not helping them if you're giving them soft shoe interviews. I'm such a fan. You guys are awesome. You're amazing. You're so funny. I love your lives. Oh my goodness. Your kids are so cute. That's fine if you guys, do that shit in the green room. But when you get into this, is part of and we're going to keep it all the way a buck. This is exactly the issue that people have about the tell-alls. We're taking the place of Shekinah. We're taking Suki's place. If we're doing interviews like that, we're taking Suki's place. We're giving these bullshit questions. Well, guys, what movie character do you think you are? Cody's sitting there and he just ripped these women off for hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you asking about what movie character he thinks he is? He's the Wolf from Wall Street. He just walked away with a ton of money. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? And that's why people are screaming at the TV. That's why people are frustrated with Sukaina. That's why they think Suki's a terrible interviewer and journalist. Suki's a journalist. She has a skill set. If you cut her loose, if she really wanted to roast Cody, she could do it. If she wanted to ball Robin up and toss her ass in the corner, she could do it. She has the skill set. But the production team at TLC has insisted, mostly at Robin and Cody's behest, has insisted that they do these softball-ass interviews. And that's why the tell-alls are terrible. That's why you can watch a whole season and know full well that you have these big issues that are happening and none of it gets addressed during the tell-all. Shit'll get done. Cody will come out and say stuff during the season and nobody talks about it during the tell-all. That's the time to bring that shit up. What music they like or what song they like or what character from a movie they think they want to be in, that shit is cute. But it's unnecessary, especially if you have a limited time where you're only able to talk to them for 4 episodes. For some of the conversations with YouTubers to these cast members, let's be honest, I don't see McKelty and Tony, I don't see Christine or Robin or Cody or any of them just giving us like 9-10 hours of their time to talk to them. We don't have the time or luxury to sit there and do the footsie games. Ask them real questions. You know what I mean? And if you're going to do a softball interview, it is what it is. Like, you know, I can't tell people how to do their content. I'm just saying for me, and it's part of the reason why they probably would never come on, on my shit. Because I would want to have like a real conversation. I want to ask the questions that you guys have. Some of the things that you guys bring up. Because otherwise, what's the point? They already have, I mean, if we're gonna keep it all the way a buck, it's cool. And I'm not blaming the content creators really because I get it. Like from the YouTube perspective, that like Pop Psych is gonna get like 100,000, 200,000 views off that interview, right? That's money in his pocket. He's gonna get that, right? And it's for him, he's getting paid. But realistically, for a fan and for a person who's going to watch the show, I already watch an hour every week of them doing random shit, especially because now they don't have any storylines. They don't have a story to tell. So I'm already watching them do random shit. Why am I doing supplemental random shit videos? You know what I mean? I'm going to play with my cat, y'all. What are we doing? And again, this is just like there has to be a buyback for the cast members where they're coming out and they're earning those views. You have to earn those views. Now when I complained earlier, like, oh, you know, my channel's small or whatever, that's on me. I'm not saying I deserve to be bigger, none of that bullshit. Like when push them down to shove, there's things that I have to learn to do. I've just recently learned or whatever, and I'm still learning about how YouTube works. Slow on uptake. So, but once I get it, I got it. But it's taking me longer to grow my channel. It is what it is. Right? But at the same time, part of the reason why I might discontinue some things or start some things or maybe not move forward with some things, because if there's not a lot of interest in some things that I'm trying to do, or I can't get it to work, or people aren't watching it, then I'm trying to respect folks' time, because I do realize there's some people who will support me, and I appreciate that. You guys will watch whatever I put out, and I appreciate that shit. I do. Helps get me through. But I want to respect everybody's time, and I just don't want to come out with just dumb shit. Hey guys, I'm talking to Robin and Cody, and I'm just going to sit here and ask how in love they are. Like, Robin and Cody, my first question, Cody, why does the world hate love? Like, what the fuck? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And at that point, I guess I'll be the tell-all host. Like, you could be the tell-all host now, James. What is love, Cody? Cody is what that James. Love is what I feel for Robin. Okay. Now, Cody, my next question. Why does the world hate love, Cody? I don't know, James, because I'm in love with Robin. And they hate our love. Oh, they despise it. I know, right? Because I see you guys on TV. I want to be in love like you, Cody. You guys just love each other so much. You guys are awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Tell all part 99 on YouTube. So that's that's what I'm saying. Like, power of the microphone. Like, you guys, if you have the ability to get an interview, do the interview. If you have ability to talk to these, you have an end to talk to these folks, talk to them. Get the like, and you're not just, it's not just I'm not saying I want them to generate or create gotcha moments. And again, I haven't seen Pop Psych. I'm being very clear about that. So I still have to watch that. But it's not about generating gotcha moments or trying to embarrass anybody. But if you've been watching the show and you're a fan of the show, find out what's true and what's false. Because one of the things that actually annoys me, one of my pet peeves, is they've presented certain things on the show. And then when fans mention those things that have been presented on the show, they try to use the back door of saying, yeah, that's not real. That was just, that's a lie. Okay, let's have a conversation about it. You're saying it's not real, that never happened. Okay, what happened? What happened? You saying that Mary treated you horribly? Let's get into it. Let's not just accuse Mary of some shit and be very vague about it, because that's not fair to anybody. You're an adult and you brought it up. And if I don't want to talk about something, I'm not going to bring it up. If I'm not open to talk about something, I won't bring it up. I'm not saying the YouTubers or even the people from People or Entertainment Tonight, I'm not saying that they got to dig into their personal life, be going through their trash and shit. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if they put concepts or ideas onto the show or onto their personal platforms, then you should be willing to have those conversations. And let's talk about it. Power to microphone. There is a power and a responsibility when you have that access. That's all I'm saying. Let me just check some things real quick. Then we'll get to our first caller in the house. We got Betty up first. We'll just real quick. Okay. I mean, that's awesome that they got that interview. That's amazing. Good for them. Good for them. Mary trying to say, I hope my brother don't get rid of Discovery because I'm tapping into that account. What is this? What are we doing? It's like watching old soap operas. I listen to the podcast while doing housework and yard work. Don't really have my eyes on it, just listening. Yeah. It is like, and that's the weird thing too, because in the I remember my mom and my grandmother used to watch the soaps, some of the daytime soap operas when they were off from work. My grandmother, because she had her own businesses and stuff, she had a lot more time to be able to watch it. So anytime she watches, go over and she's watching the shows, and she watching her programs, and she would say, "Watching my programs." And the craziest thing about the soap operas is it will literally be an event that happens like on Friday morning, whatever, right? And you could go back, and the show is every day, so it's Monday through Friday at whatever time it aired, right? And they will be on that Friday morning for like a month and a half. And by like the second or third month, they'll be on like Friday afternoon. You know what I mean? And then by like the fifth, sixth month, it'll be like Friday evening, the next day. They find out something else happened. Like, it's just like you could literally miss like some of these conversations and be able to miss it. And that's part of the art of soap operas. You could miss like a block of time, show up again, and be able to catch up very easily as to what's going on. And I think that this is starting to take a lot of that into account. Like, and like I was saying with I'm finishing up 90 Day, like I'm finishing up Happily Ever After, and then I'm done with 90 Day. And my whole reason for that is that as I was looking at it, the cost, like I was talking about the financial cost of some of these streaming networks, there was a time cost for me to watch 90 Day Fiance. Like, especially because most of them now don't even really have storylines, and they're trying to create and then act out these storylines, and they're horrible freaking actors and terrible actors. Terrible. It's crazy. Take a class. And here's the thing, even if you take a class, some people don't have talent for that stuff. It is a talent to be able to act. Acting is a talent. It's like singing, dancing, acting, comedy. Not everybody can do it. Everybody think they can do it because it looks easy. And the people who are really good at it make it look really easy. The better they are, and it just make it, it's just like he gets up and says the words. Yeah, it's like he's that person. It's that easy, right? And a lot of these guys are just terrible actors. And then I started looking at it, and the shows were one episode was like an hour and a half. And I'm like, that's a feature-length film. I'm sitting there every Sunday or Monday, because it would come on Sunday. So I would try to catch it on Monday because I'm watching Sister Wives, and I don't do too much before Sister Wives as far as TV is concerned because I'm doing other stuff. But I'll watch it on Monday, and I'm like, I'm sitting here every Monday basically watching a movie. And I look at my streaming network queues, and I have actual movies, like good movies I want to see that I'm not watching that are the same amount of time investment as 90 Day Fiance with that terrible acting and sorry ass storyline. What am I doing? Like you said, what are we doing? An hour and a half for them to do these terrible fake ass, like shallow ass storylines. Then they're going to have the fake out tell-alls, like bullshit tell-alls. And that's where I guess so much of my angst about like YouTubers doing these interviews comes from, because it's just like one more layer of, you guys just don't want to hire real people to do the real job. You don't want to have Shekinah actually do her job. So you have her soft pedal an interview, and then that lowers the bar. And then because the bar is so low, now all of a sudden anybody can do the interview, because we're basically going to ask the same type of questions that Shekinah is asking, because she's already lowered the bar and she's not doing her full potential on the tell-all. And it becomes acceptable because it becomes normalized. And I just have an issue with that. Like, let's have the conversation. Let's have the discussion. You know what I mean? If I say something, and I'm not gonna bullshit, I say some wild stuff on the channel. I say some wild stuff. So it's a two-way street. I get to ask them about some of their stuff. And if I say something that's out of order, out of pocket, or something that they disagree with, and they did an interview with me, you have every right to come at me and say, yeah, well, I noticed on this one video you said blah, 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 and I wanted to get your thoughts on that, James. And I would have to, answer questions. Well, this is what I thought. This is what I saw. This is what I understand to go on. These are the bigger concepts that I was addressing when I talked about these issues. What's your problem? What is it? And we can have that conversation. Let's have that conversation from there. If they say, just because they say something, let's get out of the habit of just going along with everything they say. Cody get up and say, yeah, Christine, last week, Janelle, when it came to the money, yeah, she was okay. She said I basically paid her back for her investment in the Coyote Pass, or an investment in the house, my house, because that's Cody's house. That's not Robin's house. Let's stop saying that shit Robin's house. That's Cody's house, right? Mary and Janelle did not lend Robin that money. They did not give Robin the money for the McMansion. I call bullshit on that. They gave that money to Cody. That's Cody's house. And they didn't give that money to Cody for him to turn around and, they thought they were invested in giving to the family and helping him out, and thought they would get favored because they were helping him out. Fine, good. But one of the things that jacked me up was when he turned around and they gave Cody that money for the house. He's now saying, yeah, and I basically paid that money back. And Megatron, the thing she said that has the whole Twitterverse and the Sister Wife universe on its ear, is she said it was an exchange of the investment over Garrison's place. Megatron came up with that. When Garrison passed, he had an estate. He left that estate. Uh, Janelle and Cody were the next of kin. Cody said, "Okay, I'm not going to fight you for Garrison's. This is our theory. This is Megatron's theory, which I agree with because it makes sense, right? I can see it happening." Cody said, "I won't fight you for Garrison stuff if you just release me from any responsibility for owing you money for the McMansion." And they just cut that deal. Right? And then he gets up and says, "Oh yeah, I basically paid her everything back." You didn't pay her shit. You just didn't fight her for something that you weren't deserving of. Technically, legally, he was deserving of it. He could afford her for it. And he probably would have got something. But if you were a moral, ethical person, ethically, you didn't have any reason to go back and get that money. So, and you still owe her for the McMansion investment. So let's ask those questions. But thank you so much, Elaine Gregerson. Appreciate your point. But yeah, I think that's. Oh, we had Janet in the house. Unlimited lipstick, $2.79 super chat. Show getting faker and faker. There's no drama left. Yeah, I mean, and let's ask that. We get them on the shows, guys. YouTubers, compatriots. If we get them on the show, let's come up with a compact. You get these interviews, start asking them, what do you guys have going on? Why is the show worth watching now? What's happening that makes this show interesting? And it can't just be your lovely faces. Because we're like awesome and you guys want to see us because we're like the cool kids at the table. No. What makes me want to, why should I sacrifice? And that's the question that the people at TLC have to start asking. Why should somebody take their Sunday afternoon and invest it in this show? Why should they take their Sunday evening, 10 o'clock at night, you're going to start the show, then the after shows and everything. Why are we asking people to stay up, possibly miss sleep, and they got work the next day to watch this show? What are they watching? What makes the investment worthwhile? What do you guys have going on? How do you feel about it? Like, ask those questions. But thank you so much, Janet. Yeah, like I said, TLC already lost me on one show. The other show I was already on the fence with, like I think it was the unplanned pregnancy thing, unexpected. I was watching that, the teen mom thing. That started getting creepy to me, so I had to tap out of that show. The Poly family. When I found out about Sean, the allegations against Sean and him potentially being a PDF file, I can't support that. I'm not going to put money in his pocket and try to normalize him and give him access to people, especially as I'm watching him potentially do things that are in line, in my perspective, my opinion. I'm watching him do things that are in line with the modus operandi of people who operate in that field. Like, he's doing the thing. He's grooming. The guy who's sitting there saying, "Oh yeah, that girl right there, yeah, she's a freaking liar." And her father, I'm going to tell him that he can't sit here and have a conversation with her because she's on punishment because she can't tell the damn truth. She's a liar. No, she's a little girl who lied. There's a difference. Let's not call her a liar, because if we call her a liar, then what we're saying is we can't believe anything she says. So if she does come back and say, yeah, this dude is saying or doing something inappropriate, I was downstairs in the basement sitting on my punishment and he came walking through the basement buck ass naked, and then now I tell my dad, and y'all, why would she say that? What was going on? Why would you do that? Oh, we can't trust her because she's a liar. That's why you don't have people like that saying shit. You don't have people call your child a liar. They lied. They're not liars. They have a liar causing a question whether they have the capacity to tell the truth. The capacity to tell the truth. If she lied, she has the capacity to tell the truth. She lied about this one thing, but This is something different. So we need to have a conversation about this. Like, I'm not just going to dismiss this. And that's what some of these dudes be trying to do. They're trying to get that first out the pocket, out the hand dismissal of anything that person says. You're trying to get on national TV and call this little girl a liar. And then when that information came out, shit started clicking for me. I'm like, I didn't feel comfortable with it from the start. It's like, what the hell is this? But then when the information came out and the accusations came out, I started saying, it's making more and more sense as we go along. As more stuff is coming out, it starts to make the behaviors that he's displaying makes more and more sense to me. So I'm not supporting that show. And there's a lot of shows that are getting ticked off from like TLC. They're just getting knocked off my list of things to watch. And TLC is like Sister Wives is like one of those last refuges that I'm looking at and I'm saying, if the story gets faker and faker and they're just doing this, like this turns into instead of it being a story about polygamy and alternative lifestyles, it just turns into a quest for money. Yeah, I'm good on that. I can make up more interesting and compelling stories that have a message or a moral value and moral basis and put those out as opposed to watching TLC try to do it. Let's go. But thank you so much, Janet. I appreciate you. Let me give you a little something. Then we're going to jump right into these wonderful callers who have been so patient as I've been jaw-jacking. James, haven't you talked enough? Never. Because I know I just said it like, thank you, Janet. I appreciate you. Just said, yeah, I'm going to go to the phones, and then I just went on something else. And I know everybody in the queue who's waiting to get up was like, damn. This dude just keep talking. Shut his ass up. All right, we in here. Let's go to Betty. What's going on, Betty? How you doing?
Oh, hey, sweetie, how are you? Sorry, I know you probably can't see me, but I've been fighting migraines today. I'm going to try my best to shut up and make it quick. One, you've gotten to be more and more the only one that I'm going to support with my dollars because, like most people in the chat, shush, we have designated dollars. Because I did see the pop site thing today. I'm not asking anybody to agree. I'm going to say my opinion. I want to keep you safe and say my opinion, which is they went softball, not even softball, t-ball. And I've seen their other episodes where they're critiquing the show, and they've said some really ugly things. Tony McKelty, they talked about how icky he looks, about McKelty being, so much like this. And when they did this interview, it's like they walked everything back. They walked it back. They didn't fucking say what they actually thought. It's like, it's like if I'm going on right now and saying, well, you know what, James is such an asshole, blah blah blah, and then I get you on there, James, I'm just so impressed with you. Like, don't walk that shit back. Say what the fuck you mean.
Right.
If you're going to put it out there, then fucking stand behind it. Right. If you're going to run your mouth, stand behind your words. Otherwise, keep your fucking mouth shut. You have a platform, use it. And take notes, be articulate. Okay, you know what? This episode, blah, 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 this is what I said on my show, and this is why I said it. Now, what is your response to that? And tell me why you did this, that I felt repelled by it. I'm sorry, don't walk your shit back. Because now we all know, really, you did it to increase your numbers for your algorithm. You did it for your Patreon. You did it. They came on the show to increase their numbers, their Patreon, because they know it's popular. Just fucking say, you know what? We doing this for the money, girl. We doing it for the green. We chasing it. And that may sound harsh and ugly to some, and I don't try to come across that way. I know a lot of people like Pop Site, but I've watched him over back and forth, and him and his wife, like when they're talking about how icky Tony was and how stupid McKelty was, and the different things they've said over episodes. And then you finally get them on your show, and you walk all that shit back, and it's like, oh, yes, we're the same. People have been mean to me, too. Like, I'm playing hardball, softball, baseball. You playing t-ball. It's like, just why? I'm sorry. It's just like, And I do that with my kids. Say, oh, okay, you want to be a dumbass and say some shit? then you're not walking it back. You own what you said. And if that's truly what you believe, you stand there and you own what you fucking believe. Don't sit there and pretend you don't. I hate
Right.
that shit. It's so hypocritical. I'm sorry, that's my hard line. That's why my dollars that I'm saving up for a special Christmas present for you when I do my super chat's gonna be another nice big one. I
Awesome.
do my small ones, but I'm saving back, babe, because you're the like our dollars. If you're like me, are few and far between, and I have to choose who I choose to support with my dollars, and dollars speak loud for me. So you're going
Right.
to be the one I support.
No,
When
I
it comes
appreciate
to the microphone, one time a year, I have control of a microphone called Facebook, where you know about our family, you know about our situation, not trying to hide it. But
that.
I have learned over the years the responsibility of saying, while we say we want justice for the murder of my family, when the people are in prison and still facing death row, I hope that doesn't get you in trouble and I'm not allowed to say it. If not, I'll shut up. But I have learned over the years that when I post that, because we usually get, sometimes we've had news people pick it up and share the story, we get 50,000 shares, that I have to now include, because people don't think, they're so outraged by it, that it's like, okay, you can't attack their family. So while we want justice, we also want compassion,
Right. Right.
because what they did to my family, yes, while horrible, these are still humans, and they're still going to have people who love them. They're still going to
Mm.
have people who cherish them, and we have no right to attack their family, the people who love and care about them, because they're hurting too. So
Right.
we have to temper that. When we have that power of sharing our page, we have to make certain we put in there, you can support us without attacking the other side. You
Right.
don't have to attack family. You don't have to go aggressively after them. That's wrong. You just simply don't do it.
Right. No, I mean, I think that that's a fair approach because I mean, let's be honest. I'm not, I don't want to delve too deep. I do want to talk to you about that, but the um the whole thing is that we don't sometimes, let's be honest, all of us have people in our family we're extremely proud of, and we have people in our family, we saw them coming, we duck in the stores, you turn around
Oh,
and
hell
cross
yeah.
the
It's like,
street.
shoo,
Yeah.
shit,
Like
leave
all
that
street.
grocery basket in the aisle and haul ass.
Yeah,
But
right.
I'm just saying, like, that one time a year when I have the microphone. Now, I
Mhm.
didn't do it at first because, I was still so outraged, but I have
Right.
learned over the years the detriment it causes. If you
Mhm.
don't put that and be like, you know what? Yes, we want justice carried out, but not even me. I don't have the right to attack their family, say ugly things, hurtful things, things that you can't take back. They're already hurting enough.
Mhm.
So, like, now we've learned to temper that with compassion. And I mean, I'm not going to say it was easy, and it's still not, because
Right.
some, there are people who are completely against the death penalty, and they attack us, and like we should be more understanding. Like, uh, you are welcome to your opinion.
Right.
I'm not trying to change your mind, but I will have mine.
Right. Right. I mean, I
I
think
just,
that that's part of it too. And I got to let you go, but the whole thing is, and I do want to talk to you about it. But the whole thing is that when it comes
I'm sorry, I
down
didn't
to
mean
it,
to get up on that, baby.
no, no, no. I'll just say this, especially in light of what I opened with as far as voting. Like, I think that part of what makes us strong, not only as a nation but as a people, like people as humanity, is the ability to have discourse and discuss differences of opinion. And some of my better friends when I was, especially when I was younger, I would have people with like of wide and varied beliefs. And we could sit down, have a slap down, drag out, discussion, debate, argument, whatever, however you want to phrase it. We could sip our beers or our libations. I don't know if you're allowed to say that on YouTube. I don't know. But we would sip
Yeah,
our
right.
libations. We would toast, we would cheer, and at the end of it, we would shake hands and walk out friends. But we have to be able to get back to a point where we can have discussions, differences of opinion, and not attack each other or go crazy. Like, you can believe what you're going to believe. I'm not going to change your mind on things that I might believe and you might differ in opinion. I can't force you to be different, nor should I want to, because if I might be wrong and you might be
Right.
right. And if
And
you're
vice
right,
versa.
why should you do what I want you to do, even though I'm wrong, just because it's me? You know what I mean? So that's why we have to be able to have those discussions. So I appreciate
Well, baby,
everything.
I really and truly hope sincerely that I didn't offend you with that. And I wasn't trying to get off on the
No,
political
not at
stuff.
all.
I was just talking about the responsibility of your voice
Yeah,
and
no,
why
not at all. I'm
you
not offended
like
by
and
anything you
why
said.
we love you is because we already know what you gonna put your money where your mouth is, girl.
Yeah,
But
say
I
it like
love
you
you. I
see
know
it.
you got more people waiting. So let me shut up. And I'm sorry I didn't. I was going to talk more about the sister I was in. I got up on my high horse. But let me
No,
shut up and I will talk to you next time.
no worries. Thank you so much, Betty. I appreciate you.
Love you, sweetie.
I love you back. Have a good night.
You too, baby. Night,
All
night.
right. All right, guys. That was Betty up in the house dropping fact bombs. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to see Pop Psych. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Because I mean it is interesting to me that they're able to get an interview with a cast member. I mean, you know, I don't want to be that guy, but it's these aren't like mega star people. So let's put it all into perspective. But it is interesting that they were able to garner attention from people who are on the show that we're familiar with, that we watch on Sunday. And I think that that's interesting. And I think it's a feather in their cap that they were able to pull it off. So give them salute for that. I'll watch the interview. Maybe I'll react to it. I don't know. We'll see. As a matter of fact, I'll put it to you guys. Let me ask it as a poll, then I'll go to the next person. Hold on one second. Reaction video on the Pop Psych interview with my Kelty and Tony. I asked you guys. And basically, I was asking, should I do a reaction video on the Pop Psych interview with McKelty and Tony? Let me know what you guys think. Because if there's interest in it, I'll do it. If not, then I won't. But we had Becky Starfire up in the house. Becky's Starfire in the house. Remember, for 3 months, salute. Cody is probably trying to make Brody and Caleb 2.0 since he doesn't have him anymore. Yeah. He's probably making we're gonna be best friends. He's a cowboy, I'm a cowboy. Let's go ride horses together and try to look like men's. Let's try to look like men's together. Because you know, men wear cowboy boots and ride horses. Ride horses. But next up, we have Megatron in the house. What's going on, Megatron? How you doing?
What's going on, James?
Not much. Trying to stay out of trouble as best I can, but I don't know.
Listen, man,
What's
because
happening?
so I had called to talk about something else totally. Like I had a lot of theories from this episode, right? So I had one for Speak Pipe, which that was the theory of I think it's Robin and her mom messing with Cody sending these damn emails. They trying to get infidelity proof because she can't claim abandonment like the other wives, so she got to get clever. So I left that one for Speak Pipe.
Okay.
What I was going to talk about tonight. I totally got thrown off when I seen the theory all over the blogs. I was like, whoa! So somebody's watching my take. Now they're reporting it on other YouTube because it was in the comment section. I was like, oh, it's being reported that Cody bargained, and I was like, yo, this was us. And I was like, that's mine. I was like, ho, ho, ho. And
Yeah.
then they didn't even give my take the credit. And then they didn't even say one of the members theorizes. They was like, oh, she reported that this is fact. This happened. I'm like, nah. So it kind of, I ain't even gonna hold you. The cheeks was a little clenched up today. I was like, let me go back and rewatch and make sure I worded that right because now I just got a little taste of inheritance. I don't need to be paying this out to
You gotta
nobody.
pass it out, right? I ain't trying to break this down.
Like for real. Like I was like, oh man. So when you came out like talking about the power of the mic, like it just drove it home. So people are listening, people are watching it. But I'm like, okay, give my take his credit because that was on his show.
Right. Well, it wasn't. It was on my show, but I was just a spectator. It was you.
Yeah.
I'll be
Very
straight up.
misquoted.
That was Megatron's thing because when you dropped that shit, even I was like, what?
But like I saw
Oh,
the pause, but I was sitting here thinking, I was like, I bet you that's what he did.
yeah.
And that's how I worded it. Like, I bet this is what he did. So you can't say, yeah, it's being reported on I know it was in the Facebook group, it was on the Sarah Fraser and the reality squad joint. And they were like, yeah, it's reported that I'm like, see, y'all lying on me already. I said that's what I think.
Please don't get me in y'all lawsuit.
You know what I'm saying? I bet. But no, the way it's worded, no, they definitely. And then I think it was like a couple of other people was like, oh, I was thinking that. I'm like, yeah. But no, we good. Cause I was for a minute and I was like, But that was one of the things I wanted to talk about, like the theory. That was the thing I wanted to talk about. Like when you was like, oh, the timeline matches up, and I'm like, yeah, it do. So I kind of went back and did my little deep dive onto the dates. And I'm like, yeah, I bet you that's what happened with this dude.
Yeah, because I mean, it makes
and I
sense.
can see him doing it.
And it's in line with how he's done it before. That's literally how he was able to acquire the land on Coyote Pass. So when he stood there, was like, yeah, I put my money on the Coyote Pass. That's my individual money. He was talking about Christine's investment. That she took her property and went on about her business. And he was saying, because I didn't try to chase her down and hound her about that property that I had no rights to, and she wrote this off to me, that's now my money.
So that's the money that I put in.
Perfect sense. So I mean, my hat's off to you for putting that together. Because that's
what I was just like, okay, maybe I'm just micromanaging because I don't like him. I was like, but I think that's what he did. Like I would, because I don't see him walking away from Jesus State, just walking away. I don't see him doing it. When has he ever done that?
Right. Especially when there's money involved.
When there's money to be made.
Yeah, you know
Cody, him and Robin to just walk off and say, okay, we're not gonna buy. Nah, I said it. Nah, this nigga's. I mean, this dude. Yeah, he done did some shady back dealings.
But the whole thing is that like everybody's known people like this. These are the type of people who, if there's a bill involved, they ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't know why you're looking at me. I ain't got nothing to do with that. No, I ain't talked to him forever. Like, what you talking about? Oh, money. I don't owe money. But if there's money involved, like, turns out my man had the winning jackpot lottery ticket in his pocket. Oh, he was my favorite son. I don't know how I'm gonna live without him.
He verbalized and said he was gonna take care of me for the rest of my life. See, I got siblings like that. I just told you I just got in here. So my stepdad passed away over the summer, right?
Sorry to hear that.
And so when it came to like he had no life insurance. It was a whole lot of other stuff. So it's 5 of us. You know what I mean? And I'm like, he's y'all stepdad. He was my dad. You know what I mean? Because by the time him and my mom got together, I was 3. He raised me. So he's dad to me. He's stepdad to y'all.
Right.
Okay, but when it came time to put up money for this funeral and, I did, James, when I tell you all by myself, I did everything. Come to find out, stepdad had some stuff put away. Okay, now the money should be split 5 ways because it's 5 of us, but the big funeral bill won't split 5 ways.
Right. Well,
nothing was split 5 ways.
Right. Can we take care of that funeral bill before we start splitting anything up? Let's take care of that.
Yeah. See, at the time, the funeral bill didn't nobody know about no money.
Right.
Like he had retirement money, pension money, and he had like 2,000 hours of because they work for the state. So, they have to go back and pay all of that back. His time, like the sick days and stuff.
Old-time pensions, because when you pay into that system, you do have rights of survivorship in that because you pay.
Yeah.
So they're basically giving you your money back.
Right.
Yeah.
But the
No,
thing is,
we
James,
had family
my
like that.
mom passed away 5 years ago, so his spouse is no longer here.
Right.
He
Right.
never had biological children, and his only two. It's a whole. But either way, when the bill came, all of my siblings turned their backs. Nah, well, it's on you, and blah 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 blah. So all right, I'll eat it. I'll take it. I'll do it. I'll do what I got to do.
Right.
Once the bill was handled, oh well, since you paid the bill here, you have you're entitled to this. Oh, okay, file paperwork, and now boom, boom, pow. Now it's a big argument amongst them because it ain't me. They don't call me with it. Well, it should go file. No, it don't. But
Right.
back to Sister Wives, I don't see that thieving ass Cody or that thieving ass Robin seeing this big estate because she sold that house for 200 plus, I think, close to 300,000. There's no telling what kind of life insurance dude had.
Right. Right. Well, especially with the benefit of being in the military because they do have
Right.
money to
So
come.
knowing what we know about, I call them Robin and Cody, knowing what we know about, do we really think they just walked away from that boy's estate and said, we just not going to take nothing because we're such good people?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
No.
here's the thing that's kind of jacked up. Then I gotta let you go. But here's the jacked up part about it. When I heard that there was like there was a part where he might actually petition to fight the inheritance or whatever, and then he walked away from it. Part of me was like, wow, that's very out of character from what I know
Yes.
about Cody Brown. Maybe we do have him wrong, because that is completely out of character for him just to be like,
Right.
to keep peace. I'm just gonna let you have it, Janelle. You as his mom, you got it.
Right.
I was like, wow, that's really mature. But
That's
then
nope.
that shit, like what he said last week, and then what you said about what he said last week, I was like, now that
Soon as he said it, James, soon as he said, we've already squared that away. Hold on. This man ain't coming up out. First of all, I bet you that's why he walked away.
right.
It was instantaneously. I'm talking about as soon as he said it, he bargained for Jesus' estate. That was the first thing came out of my mouth. He bargained for that boy's estate. He didn't. First of all, Coda ain't gonna pay nothing if he can help it. And he ain't gonna abandon no $200,000-$300,000 estate if he can help it.
Right. Right.
So yeah, I can see that. I totally. Soon as he said, "Oh, me and Janelle," but you owe Mary money too. You ain't said nothing about paying Mary back.
Right.
Mary ain't got nothing to bargain with. You feel me?
Right.
Man, they think we slow, but we ain't.
Right. Well, because that's the thing too. Because if he was paying Janelle back money, why wouldn't you give money back to Mary too? Especially because Mary had been way out the family. Even
Right.
in Vegas, she was way out the family. So you
Right.
had zero reason to take money from Mary to buy your house. That would have with Janelle, you might be able to argue. Well, you guys were still kind of together and you were intimate and stuff, and there was a relationship still going. With Mary, y'all was not even friends.
That's like making my high school boyfriend pay me child support for my kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah. But he mentioned, oh, I'm paying Janelle and Mary. He just said Janelle. Why? Because Janelle had something to bargain with. Mary didn't.
Right.
And this is all theory, people.
Yes. Yeah.
This is all speculation, people.
No way to prove any of this shit. This is just our opinions and based off the observations, things that we've seen. And in full disclaimer fashion, we cannot be held liable, culpable, or anything for any of the views or opinions that we voice on this particular subject matter, because again, this is all based on speculation, based from the fact of things that we've seen on the show prior.
That's it.
Right?
I concur. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure I won't tripping. Like, yeah.
No,
like this is what I think happened.
Yeah, you said that for sure. Because I wasn't even tracking it, but you nailed that right. You hit that right on the head. But thank you so much.
So I ain't crazy. Thank you, James. I appreciate it. And give my man his flowers. Give us our credit now.
Right. Every time I talk about it, I'm gonna say your name, Megatron. No worries.
All right, James. I appreciate you.
Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Megatron in the house. That's right. That was Megatron. That was all Megatron. Because I missed that. She hit that shit like, what? Because when she said, I was like, oh, wait, hold up now. Hold up. Where my boy at? Because as soon as Megatron came out with that, oh, man, hit a pose in my ass. I was like, whoa.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
What the? You're right, Megatron. That does make sense. But yeah, just to tag on, then we're gonna jump over to Alexandra. What Megatron was talking about, guys, if you had just do yourself a favor. You want to keep peace in your family because everybody seems cool and your loved ones are your loved ones and everybody. But if you have people that you want to leave certain things to, or you want to give to this person or that person, especially if they helping you out or they doing things, you have a better relationship with them, create a will. Make it clear what's going to who's getting what. And that way, too, you don't have your loved ones arguing and fighting with each other. If you determine that, okay, you know what, I'm going to give my daughter this, like for instance, I'll even do real scenario. Story time. When my mother passed away, right? She had some beautiful jewelry and jewelry sets and collections and stuff that my father had given her, right? And she has 2 sons, me and my brother. He doesn't have any kids. I have a son and a daughter. And my mother said that when she passed, she said this jewelry goes to James's daughter. This is her stuff. Right? It was wedding rings, like the wedding bands, necklaces, earrings, all that stuff. She's like, this is hers. When I go, this is hers. So it was clear when she passed who was getting what. In fact, she had started giving some of the stuff she had started giving to my daughter before she passed. She didn't know she passed suddenly. But she started giving her some things here and there. And when she passed, my dad took her jewelry boxes and her stuff, and here you go. You know what I mean? This is where it goes. And you make it clear who gets what and where you want what to go to whom and all that. Because look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Like my dad used to tell us, where there's a will, there's always a family member waiting around to collect. And we talk about them bills hitting the door. When there's a bill coming and there's funeral costs and all that, all of a sudden everybody got their hands in their pockets. It's like going out to everybody got that friend. You go to the restaurant and then instead of everybody getting separate bills, no, we ain't gonna do separate bills. Let's all just do one big bill, y'all. It's easy that way. We all kick in. It's all good. And as soon as that bill hit the table, it'd be 3-4 people all of a sudden gotta go to the bathroom. And for some reason, they in the bathroom just long enough to where they see the waiter walk off with the tab because somebody had kicked up their credit card, right? Or they paid the whole joint off. Then all of a sudden, here they come. Oh man, I was gonna pay that. How much do I owe you? Oh man. If you don't say, don't worry about it or something like that. I got it. I got you. You get me next time. If you don't say that, you say give a number. All of a sudden, oh man, don't you know I left my wallet in the car? I left my wallet at home, yo. I left my wallet on the moon. As they go the further along they go, the further they got their wallet went. I had an unexpected expense. Oh. Then why'd you bring your ass out and start ordering filet mignon and lobster tails? You ain't got no money. What are you doing? But yeah, but like I said, when Big G's didn't want to go to the house and see the house, but as soon as he passed away, all of a sudden you got ownership in the house. Megatron hit that shit. But yeah, next up we got Alexandra to the stage. What's going on, Alexandra? Where's my thing? Here we go. Alexandra, what's going on?
Not much. How are you?
Doing well.
Good stuff. I have 3 things I wanted to talk about, so I'll not delay too much. The first one is, okay, we have now seen Christine put together a bookshelf. Cody and Robin put together a desk for their daughter. And now Mary put together a desk. Come on. This is too much. It's really gotten me so angry that this is the content they're shoveling out to us. You can do something better. Come on. fake something better. Like I'm so angry with this show. That's the first thing. My second thing, Christine saying that Cody was a good man as she's in court fighting him for scraps to feed her kid. Like garbage. Like I I'm so livid with her. How can you say he's a good man when he abandoned you and your kids, had medical emergencies, he wasn't there, all for the sake of Robin and her family, but yet he's a good man? Like I how can I watch these people? Like,
Right.
ugh. Okay, and my last thing, which is kind of controversial, but stick with me.
All right, hit me with it.
Okay. I am suspecting, and we're all adults here, right?
Yeah.
I'm suspecting that there's something going on with Robin and Cody that they're not disclosing to the audience. And this is why they keep talking about, are you happy with just me, Robin? Are you okay with just me? Because there are some adults who don't have jealousy when their partner goes with other people. There are some people who enjoy that concept called compersion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there might be something like that going on with Robin. Not saying she doesn't want him full time. She wants his attention and stuff, but maybe, she doesn't have jealousy. Maybe she has some interest in him going off and doing other things,
Right.
extracurricular stuff, and coming back. And now that he's not doing that technically, legally with another wife, maybe he's like, "Oh, is this enough?" I don't know. It's just a thought, but that's just what occurred to me the other night when I'm hearing them talking about this for this like 20th time. Like, are you okay with just me? Are you okay without plural marriage? Like, I'm like, what else is going on here? Because we know TLC hides stuff from us. Like with the Seeking Sister Wife, there are people there that are in like triads and other like open situations, but yet they tell us that they're not. And like there's levels of people's sexuality that they don't go down because I guess the network doesn't feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a little bit more like kind of out there on the spectrum of stuff, and some people don't know about it or aren't so comfortable talking about it, and that's fine. But like if that's not what's going on, then shut this convo up. Like we've heard enough of it.
Right.
So
Right. No,
anyways,
I
that's
agree.
just like why keep talking about it? Like I know they're slim on content, so maybe that's why, but I don't think so. There's something else going on. Why we keep hearing about this, and it's all like in code, and she's crying that they're leaving, but yet she did nothing to facilitate them staying. Like, it's such garbage. Like, why are we watching this, people? Why?
Right. No, but that's excellent 3-point head. I appreciate you called in. I agree with everything you say. Like I think that like especially with the waste of time, watching people put furniture together, that's burning off a good 10 minutes watching them put furniture together and pretend to have a conversation.
Yeah,
You know, it's so crazy. But it is a weird thing that we watching them build offices. Like how many times you gonna watch somebody put some IKEA together? This is craziness.
yeah. Yeah, like, and we watched them, Robin and Cody do painting. So we've watched married painting pictures. So like,
Right.
what else? More people painting. Like, find something new to do. Like your show, you have all these people on production. Like, think of ideas, people. This is boring.
Yeah. Get some more activities. Get some
Yeah,
more activities.
like, like on Seeking Sister Wife, didn't they go to one of those like destruction rooms where you like throw things? Like Mary and Jen could do that. Like, there's so many things you could do. Go rock climbing, something like,
Mm.
it's boring.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said, with the conversation, because that's the one point I was making with them continually rehashing. Do you want to be a monogamous? Am I enough, Robin, to be a monogamous? Like you guys have been basically doing a monogamous relationship with open angles since you started dating.
Yeah,
Like you guys have been committed to one another, but Cody was just going off. Like that's technically like a more of an open relationship, one-way open
yeah,
relationship, you
yeah,
know, what they were doing because you had a commitment with Robin. You were just kind of relieving yourself sexually with other people,
yeah,
but you weren't necessarily committed to those other people that you was to your partner, who was Robin. So
yeah,
you've basically been doing a monogamous relationship, not a monogamous relationship, but you've had that type of partnership,
Committed,
caring
yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah.
Now you're
Yeah,
just
because
basically saying, let's be committed 100% to each other, and I won't go out and bang out other people. Are you
yeah,
okay with that?
right.
And
Right.
so, like you said,
And yeah, because like she didn't want him being away too long, right? Like you can't be
Mhm.
gone for more than 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever it was because the kids, that was her excuse. So I think, she was okay with him going and getting, relief elsewhere, but
Right.
always coming back and that being his home base and
Mhm.
not leaving it for too long. And now that he's not navigating away for some, you know, uh, taking the luggage out,
Right.
I don't know, like why we keep talking about this. If this is what you wanted all the time, then why we keep having this conversation? Unless there's another angle there that,
Yeah.
is
Yeah. But
is
if there's
not
another
mainstream
angle,
enough.
if there's another angle to it, they need to drop that other shoe. Like,
Right.
enough of the teaser and the draw out. Like, you need to
Yeah.
just drop the other shoe.
And if you're
And
not
let's
going to
really
drop it, then don't drop the first one. Like
Right. Right.
finish the convo and move on, do something else. Like come up with something else. I don't know. Like I've said from a long time ago, when you keep losing characters off of a show that speaks doom, like, the Big Bang Theory, they had the first initial 4 characters, and then they had to keep adding more characters as the seasons went on to add depth to the show. And when
Right.
you go in the opposite direction, it's taking away from the show. And these 1 or 2 extra characters like David or Jen does not make up for all the kids that were lost along the way, for not lost, but like lost to production, lost to the show,
Right.
lost to coming on screen. So, you're losing all these characters. So this is what we're left with, watching them put together boxed flat furniture.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
And we
And
didn't even get a chance to see the desk. Like, how about that? Well, thank you so much for calling in,
all
Alexander.
right.
I
Thanks.
appreciate you.
Thanks for hearing me out.
All right, no problem.
Okay. Bye.
Awesome. She's right. They put together damn furniture once again. Maybe they got a brand deal. Maybe that's what it is. Like we're missing the business side of it. They have a brand deal with this particular furniture company, and so they put it together on the show. And then maybe Mary's gonna be sitting on the desk on Instagram or whatever. And that's how she got the level changing desk for free. But we have Lizzie B with the $2 super chat. Lizzie B, one of the Mega Mod Squad. What's up? Said allegedly. Yeah, allegedly. We're not making any definitive statements as to what's going on. These are assumptions that we're making based upon our observations of the television show solely, and or additional information that we receive via emails, interviews, or things of that nature, which are in the public view. We are not saying that this is 100% accurate, and this is for and all observations or opinions are for entertainment use only. That's the disclaimer I'm gonna run with. But thank you so much, Lizzie B. Let's get a little something in the chat. Boom, 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 boom. Then we had Jody Periscout with the $4.99 super chat. Super chat. You mentioned hanging out. Was there Big G pick? Get hung. Yeah. 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 The other big conversation was, let's hang this picture up of us like kind of screwing and stuff in our fantasy stuff when I didn't kept my mitts off you, but I'm dry humping you on the hood of my car before we was married. Because I need my daughter's boyfriend to respect her the same way I respected you, by not going all the way, just dry humping on the hood of a car in public with people videotaping and photographing it. Because that's how you show respect for somebody else's wife, because you're kissing some future man's wife because you're not married to her yet. So technically, and Cody had a whole like 3 families at home. so so he said, and that's the weird part about it. He's talking about like you're kissing another man's wife. Well, what about Robin kissing another woman's husband? Or does that not count? Does that not count? That's not as important, because men got these germs that attack women's bodies and change their body chemistry. That's why men can can basically brainwash the woman. That's when you get the whole thing where she get brainwashed with the whammy jammy. But yeah, I haven't seen, but to your point, I haven't seen Big G's picture in that new house. So maybe it's back in the garage. Weird to me. And the crazy part is when it comes to like that kind of thing, I can see a universe where, and it's just my opinion, but I can see a universe where what we see with Robin, she'll use the excuse that, well, it just hurts me so much to see his beautiful face. So I don't want any pictures of him hanging up in the house and anywhere that's like predominantly him or somewhere where I can walk into a room and actually see the picture because it'll hurt too much. And that's just a way for you to avoid having his picture hung in your house. But because she wasn't getting along with him at the time. So I don't know. But yeah, let me give Jody a little something. That's a good point, though. Hanging up pictures, too. Stalling us out. Next up, we got Tanya Carter in the house. Tanya Carter.
Hey, hey.
Hey, what's happening?
Not
Life
too
in the
much.
kidneys.
You like that one? Man, I was watching who was it? It was Ace and Caitlin, and they mentioned what Megatron had said. Megatron, man, she got the internet's buzzing.
Right?
And yeah, they're not mentioning my take. They need to mention my take, man. She's part of our family and our community.
Right. Yeah, throw us some love. You know what I
Throw
mean?
us some love, something. Y'all gonna be out here running with stuff and not saying where you heard the
We
gossip.
picked it up at. Yeah.
Ooh. But I watch so I watch Pop Psych every once in a while because my background is in psychology, and so I like watching him and Seattle psychologist. And I wasn't looking for it this morning, but I was kind of drinking my coffee at work and I saw that they were on there and I was like, oh, this should be interesting. And it was not.
Mm.
My opinion on the poll would be a no. I wouldn't want to discuss it. It was boring, James. My problem with Pop Psych has always been, even before McKelty and what's his name went on there today. My problem with them has always been when I watch them.
Hmm.
Um, I don't feel like they have invested enough time in the sister wives to know each one of the people and know the idiosyncrasies and the inner workings of their relationships because their opinions on a lot of the shows are not spot on. Like you can tell they haven't really watched it enough to understand what they're talking about. So I was a little offended that they got them on their show because to me I don't feel like they've put in the time and the respect for the show um to really have them on and talk to them because they don't understand. I just don't feel like they really have gotten a good grasp of the show yet. Like their opinions are kind of like that's not really what happened in that episode. That's not really what they meant. Like I don't know, but it was boring. He did ask McKelty, to kind of elaborate more on what happened with Mary. And I got a little excited, and then McKelty, of course, didn't say anything. Um, and he backed up, so it's like it was boring. I actually didn't even finish the whole thing, so I don't know how much that's going to help his show because I have seen people out on other platforms say that they don't really feel like they watch the show and understand it as much to be kind of talking about it. But
Right. Well, because again, I haven't seen the interview yet. I'll watch it. I think I'll watch it. But depending on what the poll says, I'll go that way. Depends what the poll says. But the thing is, do you think this is a possibility? And this is just me asking the question.
Mhm.
I don't have an opinion about it one way or another. But do you think that it might be more attractive? Because if I was in a position where I'm trying to shape a narrative, I don't necessarily, especially if I'm wrong. I could see a world where you wouldn't necessarily want to go onto a show where people are familiar with, like you said, the idiosyncrasies or the details of what was happening and what was going on with the positions I took, or maybe some of the things that I said. You want to go on a show where it's basically a clean slate, where whatever I say is pretty much what it is, and I can't be
Absolutely.
challenged. Do you know what I mean? So that might be
Yes.
some of the attraction of going on that show.
And that's exactly what I thought. When
Yeah.
I was watching it, I said to myself, self, this is why they came on this show. This
Yeah.
is it was safe, as Robin likes to say. It was safe because I'm thinking they're thinking he's a psychiatrist, so he's not going to come at us. He's going to be professional. He's going to think of our mental health. And anyone that watches the show, when they comment on it, you can tell they have not invested much in the show because they don't know.
Mm.
So you're right. It would be a clean slate for them to come on there and not feel any kind of threat. Now, if they came up on my take, they better be ready to answer some damn questions because they know we have all sat here for 20 seasons and watched this foolishness and watched it several times. So you can't come on here and act crazy. And I would challenge, I think, Cody, if you're listening, and I know he's on the show tonight watching,
Right.
if
Yeah, because
you,
he said
he watches.
real quick, because there was a couple of things that he said in just this last episode. I was like, that's stuff that I said.
Yes,
And he said it the way I say it.
exactly how you said it. He watches your
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
So I know you're watching tonight, Cody. If you're trying to do a new story arc for yourself, or you're trying to clean up your image, I would take a page out of our President Trump's book. He goes on the shows that he knows people don't like him, like Theo Vaughn. He had his
Mm,
border czar go on, Bill Maher, and now those people actually kind of like him. Cody, if you come on my take and answer some questions, it might help you a little bit. That's all
right,
I'm saying.
right. Well, I mean, look, I'm not gonna like, because I kind of thought about that before, because I played around with the idea, like, what if I was able to get an interview with such and such, or this one or that one? And my position has always been, I don't want to jeopardize or compromise my integrity. So if I say a thing is a thing, I got to stand 10 toes on that, because otherwise, how do you, if I say a thing, this is wrong, XYZ is wrong, it's inappropriate, and then I have Cody on the show, and when he get on the show, I'm like, well, Cody, you are such a great father. I mean, how do you do 18 kids, guy? That's
Right.
incredible. What happened to all that? You know what I mean? All that heat you had before, where all that energy go?
Yeah.
And then how do you listen to me after the interview is over and I get my views from the that interview on my next critique video where I go crazy again? How do you listen to me go crazy again and say that this a thing is a thing when I had the guy, you know what I mean, on the show, and I went and asked him the questions?
Right.
You
And I
know,
think that's what happens with a lot of these YouTubers because with Pop Psych, I can't really say that I will lose any respect for them because they were always kind of, like I said, I don't feel like they have enough invested. They don't know enough. So it was what it was. Like I knew it was going to kind of not be that interesting. That other lady, I can't remember her name, who interviewed Mary on her YouTube channel, I kind of lost a little respect for her because same thing. She always comes in hot. And when Mary got on there, that energy wasn't there. She backed off.
yeah,
And now I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, where was all that smoke that you had
yeah.
yesterday when you were talking about things?" So it's true. I mean, I
Well,
think
because there's
honestly,
always
the only ones that could come on your show and stand 10 toes down, I think would either be Christine
mm,
or Janelle.
right, right.
I don't
Well,
think they would be scared to answer questions.
because I think that there's a because I'm not ignoring the business side of it, because the business side of it, maybe, again, maybe, they're more successful at YouTube, maybe this is why, but the business side of it is, you give the softball interview because it's not just about having a conversation with McKelty and Tony. Ideally, you want to have the conversation with McKelty and Tony, them go back and tell Christine how cool you were, and then maybe you can land a big fish of pulling Christine in the boat, or
Mhm.
pulling in Janelle or one of the main cast members into an interview. Like
Yeah.
that's what I feel like when I, and this is, like I said, it's not against them, it's just the business. And I get it. You guys are doing the business thing. But
Well,
it
and
feels
he did say on there this morning that he was reaching out to her and he was on her Patreon and she was like, "Yeah, I noticed you were in the comments every once in a while." So he was fishing. He was fishing to
right,
get her on there.
right. Yeah, you try to get the one you can get to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you go
Yeah.
to McKelty's Patreon and hopefully she'll go back and she'll have that conversation. Because Christine, like it or not, I mean, whether Christine ever heard of him or not, she definitely heard about him now.
Right.
And
Yeah.
she'll watch the interview to
She'll
see
watch
how
it.
what was
Yep.
said and how it went. So
Yep.
that's the
It's
whole.
true.
And again, that it is what it is. I'm not hating on anybody's hustle. The one thing I will say, and I have to let you go, but I'm enjoying the conversation. But the one thing I will say is that early on, because like I said, Pop Psych and I started about I want to say roughly about the same time. Maybe I started a little bit before he did. I don't know. But his channel has taken off since. But there was one time they were doing an observation, and I think I made a video about it. Because after that, they said some kind of snarky stuff about me. It was like back and forth evil stuff. It was, it was funny. But was what it was. But it was when Janelle had went to Mary's house and they were sitting on a porch and they were having a conversation. Janelle was trying to show the plans for her house. And then Mary, Cody, and Robin were sitting there. And then Mary, right before Janelle was like, "Here's my house. Let's talk about me building on Coyote Pass and messing up this property so we can't sell it." All of a sudden, it was like, I want to have a conversation about what's going on in the family. Are you committed to the family? Are you planning on staying? Are you going to leave like Christine did? And I remember them making an observation, and I felt this way that, they gave Robin some credit, and to Pop Psych's credit, like he did take a lot of heat for this. They gave Robin credit for opening the lines of communication and wanting to have a discussion with like an open discussion about the problems in the family instead of pretending like that's not the thing. My position was it's nice to have a conversation when you have the luxury of being able to go to a house. But at the time,
Right.
Janelle was sleeping in an RV. She was basically homeless, sleeping in a really nice car. She's sleeping in her damn car for the most part, like RV car, right? So, yeah, she wants to talk about getting her family the thing that she needs, as opposed to talking to Robin about the things that she wants.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that was a subtle difference. But they took a lot of heat for that. And they have it like their channel, it's they turn things around and they've done really well. Like I'm not mad at them for that. They did really well as far as like the playing the YouTube game and the algorithm and stuff. And they landed a big interview.
Yeah.
Landed
Yeah.
a big interview. So hats off to you. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't find it very interesting. And I do like their content. I just didn't find it very interesting.
Mm.
I thought um it was exactly what I expected it to be.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Coming from them, and McKelty tends to kind of watch her words because I think she doesn't want to be in her dad's bad graces. I think she kind of wants to stay on good ground with him if he ever decides to pay her any attention again.
Right. Leaving that door open for him to come back.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. Don't be like a Mary though, leaving that door open.
Man, oh my God. That's originally what I wanted to come on and talk about. Like Mary, like what in the hell? I'm so tired of it. Every time we go to Padawan, she's over there talking about Cody. Like again this week, she's looking at
Yeah.
memoirs and notes. Like, come on, worthy up.
Get yours and get out. Yeah. Yeah. Get out. Get out. Get out.
It's so crazy. But
But yeah, I appreciate you calling in, Tiger. Thank you so much. And thanks for the
absolutely.
411 on the interview. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, y'all. That was Tanya Kata, Miss Kata in the house. Um, also, well, let's do the poll real quick, and then I just had some super chat. We'll get back into the phone calls. We got Linda up next. All right. So right now it says, should I do a reaction video on the Pop Psych interview with McKelty and Tony? 89% of you said yes. As it stands right now, I'll be watching that, John, commenting on it, giving my raw take. And I'm not looking for it. Like, please don't take this. Anything I've said. I haven't seen their interview. Right? Be very clear. I have not seen their interview. So I just found out about it tonight during this live. I haven't seen their interview, so I don't know what they talked about, how they did the interview, or anything else. And I certainly don't want to create like a channel rivalry thing where people feel like they can't come on and like Pop Psych and like us too, and or vice versa. And there's going to be a problem if you do. That's not the case. I have no ill will towards them. They landed a big interview. Congratulations. That's awesome. We had Betty Aldridge in the house. What did Betty have to say? Let's get some hearts in the chat for Betty. Betty, keep it a buck. Let's put some hundos in there. Let's put bucks in there. Betty, keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100. I've dropped something in there too. Okay, it says Betty Aldridge, $2 super chat. What did she say? Sharknado is more believable than this show. Yeah, right. There's sharks. You know, sharks getting tossed all over the place. They just heavy items being thrown around at that point. Heavy items with teeth. It's so dangerous because the sharks are falling from the sky. Yeah, breaking their backs upon impact. So just don't let one land on you. You'll be fine. It's still a shark. You should worry about the tornado. I remember I watched that movie with my kids, and that movie was so ridiculous. I spent the whole movie. Normally, I don't do this. I'm one of them people I like to actually watch whatever medium I'm doing, like to actual take it in. It was so crazy. The whole time that movie was playing, it was nothing but back-to-back jokes and smart-ass comments. We had a ball. That's what that movie was for me. Like normally it's like you got to shut your brain off. That one was just like you just, turn your sarcasm way up and just start letting jokes rip and see how, see how crazy you can get. We had some fun. It was more the company than the movie. But thank you so much, Betty. The way this show is going, boy, it's just not realistic. Because even as a monogamous, I know these guys are newly minted monogamous. And I'm telling you now, a lot of the reactions they have is newly minted monogamous as somebody who's been in the game a while. I'm telling you, this is not how people do shit. I've never seen a situation. I've maybe seen, I'll take that back. I've seen a handful of times where people were like cool enough with their exes that they could go out on like, they could do things together, right? Most cases, especially during like bitter custody battles or child support battles, financial battles, monetary disputes, nobody's sitting there going, he's a good man. She's a good woman. She's a good person. They're like, this mother, Mickey, Vicky, lopsided head ass, bald mother. You know what I mean? They'd be crazy. You'd be calling that dude everybody. Most cases, monogamous will be calling their ex everything except for a child of God. They call them everything under the sun, right? It's to the point where if you go to most jurisdictions in family court, when you show up, when you get your order, anytime they issue an order or even a petition, when you first put in your petition for either modification or even petition for child custody or child support, they have a packet that's usually attached, Appendix A, which will talk about all the stuff you can't do as a parent. Like you can't talk crap about each other. You can't talk crap about each other in front of the kids. You can't deny the other parent the ability to be able to see the child, blah, blah, blah. But they had to include that in because they understood that in most cases, these people are talking mad shit about their partners or former partners. And on Sister Wives, they pretending like, you know what, David, we're going to sit in this fancy restaurant and you and Cody should go on vacation together. Why don't you take them to our expensive place, our B&B in Airbnb in Moab and you guys can go out and ride razors together and you can, have fun. Just be with each other, enjoy each other's company. That's not a thing. In some cases, I've seen where people damn near pass out if they walk into a room and they see their current talking to their ex. Like, it ain't nothing good gonna come of this conversation. So, like, whoever they got on TLC or even in the Brown family, this is just not how shit is done usually. Like, if you guys were that cool to where this was before they go on vacation together, just as a note, before we sit there and pretend that they're going, David and Cody going to go on vacation together, I don't know, maybe do an event where you guys can be in a room with each other and have a damn conversation without somebody rolling their eyes before you start talking about somebody going on vacations. Then I might be more susceptible to believing that this is a possibility. But if you can't even sit in a room with them and then walk in a room without you going, oh my goodness, I didn't realize that this mug was going to be here. If you can't do that, there's no way in the world you guys should be talking about going on vacation together. Show or not, because it's just not realistic. And it's supposed to be a reality show. A reality show. It's supposed to emulate reality, not fan fiction. If it's fan fiction show, then it's probably be something different anyway. But thank you so much, Betty. Let me give you a little something. Then we had Kathy Mosley with the $5 super chat. Maddie's Instagram shows her house at Taita Farm and nearing completion. Oh, really? I'm going to have to check that out. Thank you, Kathy. I'm going to check that out. I don't be all up in her business. But she posted it, so I'm curious. I want to see what it looks like. Good for them. Congratulations. That's awesome. Thank you for the good news, Kathy. And isn't it weird? They just to put this in a perspective, with Kathy's point, they just bought Taida Farms. And already they've cleared brush, they've cleared land, they're building houses. The houses are almost in completion. They've had Taida Farms for less than a year, I think, at this point, or maybe just coming up on a year. They've had Taida Farms, and they already have almost a house built on the property. They had Cowdy Pass for 5 damn years. 5 years. And they ain't moved a stick nor a stone on that damn property. That shows you how serious they were about building on that property. They talked a lot of shit about all the house they gonna put on. We gonna put a whole village up on it. It's gonna be incredible. I'm gonna put the Metroplex right here. It's gonna be incredible. I'm gonna have a garage. I'm gonna have like shuttle cars. I'm gonna have cars with no wheels that fly 4 feet off the ground. It's gonna be incredible, dog. That's the way we do it in the polygamous compounds. They talk mad shit about all the stuff they doing. Y'all didn't even have plans for a house. Not even close. But somehow between Maddie and Janelle, they're able to get their houses almost done within a year of them buying a damn property. It's funny how when you put your mind to doing stuff and you actually want to do it, how quickly you can get shit done. I'm just saying. I just want to throw that out there. But thank you so much, Kathy. Then we have Betty Aldridge once again with the $5 super chat. If you say it, stand behind it. Own your opinions and don't back down. That's right. Say that shit with your whole chest. If I get on this hot mic and I say something, like if I bring Cody on, and here's the thing, it's as simple as this. If you come up and I start saying some wild shit about Cody, and I'm too bitch made to say it to Cody face, an easy solution is just don't have Cody on the show. Like, it's that easy. It ain't like he gonna call you up and just pull up to your house or wherever your studio is, your YouTube studio is. It ain't like he gonna pull up and be like, yo, put me on the air, son. What it is then, player. I heard you had a lot of shit to say. Why don't you say it to my face, son? Like, it's not going down like that. Just don't put them on. If you scared to have a conversation, you're afraid to say what you've been saying, just don't have a conversation. Don't put them on. Just keep talking your shit. Right? But don't come on and say all this wild stuff about him behind his back, because one, you're helping him. That's what Cody really need to do. He just need to get on some of these shows and just start, just do some of the shows with the YouTube folks or the people or ET. They ask the softball ass questions after they got finished criticizing them real hard and heavy. And then he get on the show. They don't bring the stuff up. And then he go to his next interview and say, somebody who's friendly and say, see, when I went on these shows, I've done several of these shows where people have criticized me and try to pull out my faults and say I did all these terrible things and what an awful person I am. But then when I show up to the show, they don't have none of that conversation. You know why? Because they realize that none of that shit is true. Isn't that crazy? So by you not asking the hard questions for the people you don't like, you are helping them. Because they can always turn around and say, if I'm such a terrible person, why do they keep platforming? And when I get on a show, why are they not asking me about these supposedly terrible things that I've done? They ask me about what's my favorite chainsaw to cut trees down with. How many trees do I think I cut down over a lifetime? They don't ask me nothing about being a parent. They don't ask me nothing about the kids that they said I abandoned. And they don't ask me anything about the women that they said I've been ignoring and neglecting. They don't ask me none of that. You know why? Because they're afraid to hear the truth. They're afraid that I'm going to get up and tell the truth about how I've always been there day in and day out. That whole thing he said to Janelle. I've been here day in and day out. He's going to say that. You're helping him if you're not giving that real interview. The people you like, if you don't get up and do a real interview, you don't ask them hard questions, you're actually hurting them because you're allowing the people who have been taking advantage of them to continue taking advantage of them. You're giving you're making you're muddying the waters enough to where the people who have offended them or committed these atrocities against them have the ability to be able to come in and deny it, or you give them plausible deniability where they can say, I don't know what you talk about, or it didn't happen that way, or why didn't you ask them about it? And they haven't said that. A lot of the things, and I'm going to come out and be very honest about this, a lot of the things that we hold as sister wives canon that we say we know and this is what's happening are things that we watched on the show, which you can turn around and say, this has been edited to make me look a certain way. What we need is for the wives to come out and say, this is what he did. This is how he did it. This is how I was offended. This is the harm he caused. And stand 10 toes down on that. And for us to ask those critical questions, those questions that draw out the truth, and we really start breaking shit down so that way it's very clear as to what happened. It's not us making stuff up, coming up with speculation or putting pieces together. It's them coming out making full-fledged statements, saying it with their chest, what they mean, what they say, what they said happened, and telling their stories. And then those stories being scrutinized by the people who are interviewing them. That gives credence to the story. But if you don't do that, you're only hurting the show. You're hurting the people that you like, and you're helping the people that you don't. That's just my opinion, though. But thank you so much, Betty. I appreciate you. Let me give you a little something. Wait, hold on. Where my something there? Now, let me. Thank you, Betty. Now, I'm going to say all this stuff, and then I'm going to turn around. I'm going to get about, I don't know, if it get like little parts and parcels get back to popping them, they'd be mad at me and they'd be saying,
congratulations, you played yourself.
I just got enemies for no reason because I'm just giving my opinion. But it is what it is. Because if I'm talking, if they ask me, if they put me on their show or we do a collaboration, they say, yeah, James, heard you was talking slick shit. First of all, like I said on my show, at the time, I didn't see your interview, but if I watch it, I'll be like, here's what I think about your interview. If I don't, or I didn't see it, or whatever the case may be, I still stand by everything that I freaking said during the course of this live. So if you want my opinion, I already put my opinion out there. It is what it is. And I'm not backing down from it. You know? You know, pigs don't eat it because they don't know how. You know what I'm saying? Like horses like it, and so do cows. Pigs don't eat it because they don't know how. Something I picked up from Stephen King. But yeah, it's just it is what it is. I know, right? That's my big cup. Yes, I'm just having one, y'all. It's just one cup of water. It's all good. Big as my head, but it's okay. I'll be hydrated. Next up, we got wait, hold on 1 second. I did see a comment on the Danny Towns, what's going on? I see you in the house. She said something. I forget what it was, but I be talking so damn much. But yeah, we're gonna go to Linda. What's going on, Linda? How you doing?
Hi, James. How are you, my dear? Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Well, yes, you do talk a lot between the waiting and picking up the calls. You got me all turned around and upside down. Now I got to talk off the cuff, which is a dangerous thing. So much for my dang notes. Hello, my take on reality family. I missed you all. I was in Hawaii for a week. And
Okay.
the
Living
jet
that
lag.
big life. We
Well,
done
no,
big
no.
life.
So, real quick, my cousin's retired. So, anytime she goes somewhere, she goes for a month and she's like, this is where I'm going to be. I want you to come. And I got to tell you, she's my favorite cousin, gets me out of my comfort zone. My lovely heifer got me on a dang plane for 10 and a half hours. And I'm not good with planes. I was getting there. I was up to 8 hours, but I have to tell you, Hawaiian Airlines pulled it off. So, it was nice. And the little beach where we stayed is where the Hawaiian monk seals like to come hang out. So I got to meet a seal named Kakoa. Like you can't really go near them because they cordon off the area. And my last day there, I got a double rainbow because there was no rainbow there the whole time. And the morning we were leaving, we're having our coffee. I was looking at something. I said, Linda, look, the rainbow was there. I got a double rainbow.
Okay.
So, all right. So now I let off with my good stuff. So now I respect you and I value you, right?
Okay.
Okay. Watch the video, but I beg you, I don't care if 10,000 people say don't do a reaction video, please. Just talk about it. Don't do a reaction video, especially since you said y'all two had a little bit of static. And I'm going to tell you why. I watched that video, caught me by surprise. I didn't expect it because I don't really watch. You're like the only one I watch regular and I react when I talk to. Sometimes I do 444 just to understand this bullshit that I'm watching. And I heard you on one of well, I was listening to an old live when I was trying to get out of the jet lag, and you were going off on something. I think it was if we're on the 6th episode, it was the 5th, and I'm like, oh my god, let me watch this. So Saturday, I was trying to get my clock back because I landed in New York at 6:30. So I don't know. I was watching. There was nothing left to watch, and I watched the last 2 episodes of Sister Wives because I'm sitting on the beach and these things are coming on my feed. I'm like, oh, whoa, they're hitting the truth. They're hitting the truth. So I was going to talk to you about that. So I'm going to do that point really quick, and then I'm going to get back to the why I led, which that I truly respect you and I value you. So the Sister Wives, I think what TLC is doing is they're first of all, they're a whole year behind. Remember, they're on like November or October 2024, and they're splicing it. So on there, we're seeing. So I think what they're doing this season is they're letting us know. I know they watch all these content creators and what we have to say. They're letting us know we're right. Cody's not liking it because I've already figured out who he is. He's like a salacious trickster. You have a malicious trickster. He's salacious. And I say salacious because everything with him is control and power. And then the way he deals with women, it's always a sexual undertone.
Right.
Always there. Like if I were to have a meeting with him or be in a room with him, like I would set the boundaries. Like, let's not forget, he had the unmitigated gall of putting his whole hand on Suki's thigh during an interview. I would have slapped him into the next century. All right. You don't touch people. Like, even as a woman, I don't touch anybody, man, woman, or whatever. So TLC is just really telling us, yes, you're right. This is what it is, and we're showing it. And You know, when we all know that when we see Cody, he'll admit to something, and the same breath he'll deny it, and then he'll say, "Yeah, I did it." And this is what he's doing. And the I actually watched Sunday's episode today, and I was taking all these notes, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't watch this anymore because it gets me so full of vitriol. But it's like, if I'm going to be on the show, I really don't want to talk, listen to you guys and talk about the snippets. I'm going back to talking about the snippets. But what I did get, and oh my God, Robin and he, when they had that conversation, when they were hanging the picture, because that was the big slap in the face. That was the fuck you to every single one of us. Yeah,
Right.
I like this picture my friend painted. I'm putting it on the wall, and fuck all of you. That's it. I mean, I could practically read his mind on that one. I don't know if anybody else agrees, but I felt that in my heart. I'm like, that's okay. When karma comes for you, I hope I'm alive to see it. And Robin sat, and she, when he asked her, why do you want polygamy? She gave that honest answer, as honest as she can be, because I'm on the fence about her, but I think you make some very valid points about her, James. Side note, I think game recognizes game. I think Cody realized that Robin was playing a game with him maybe less than a year after they were married, because he saw that he was losing control, but he liked it. He was in that honeymoon phase and the sex phase and everything else. So game recognizes game. And she gave, go back and watch that scene. She gave all these points. I don't know if they were heartfelt or real, because I think she really wants to get back in the AUB to get a position of power, because that is a female version of Cody. She's a narcissist like him, malignant narcissist, but she's good with sugarcoating it, where Cody is in your face, where he said in Special Forces, I'm not the strong, silent type. I'm the loud, obnoxious type. Like, even in Special Forces, he's saying who I am. I'm a piece of shit. Take me or leave me.
Right.
And she made all these points. It's like the discussions you have with us. And then he turned around and said something else. Okay, do you want me to throw away these emails? And she said, did you listen to what I said? Like, did that track for you? And what he did is he didn't want to answer, and he turned on the victim thing and saying, okay, you're pointing out my faults. And I'm like, shit, he even does it with her. But she doesn't let him off the hook. She doesn't let him off the hook, but she says what she has to say again and lets him down easy, because it's like we all got to look at this motherfucker's eyes when he talks, because you could see that monster coming out. And his eyes this year are a little clearer. They're not black. They're showing who he really is. Like, you could really see what is inside this man. And it's really, really nothing good. So that's just what I'm going to talk about sister-wise. But just getting back to you, I just beg you, don't do a reaction video. You could talk about it with us on the show or on the Saturdays. But when I saw it and I'm watching and I'm like, damn, this would have been good if James did it. Now, I watch Pop Psych once in a while because he would come up and another one came up. I'm going to tell you what everyone is saying is true. They went soft. He let his wife Allison ask most of the questions, and she was fangirling. Like, I was so annoyed that I was going to write, can you just do this without your wife? Because I wanted the psychologist to ask the questions. And he only asked the questions in the end, but the questions that Allison asked, McKelty let out some real truths. She really did. She explained, and she said it. I don't have a relationship with my father because I don't want one now, because I want him to have a relationship with my siblings. So the fact that she moved because she was the go-between is true. But the way she explained it is, it's almost like she was the older sister. Like, I kind of related to what she said, because you're there for everybody. So if my dad is coming to see me, and I know there's a problem with some of my siblings. Okay, did you speak to my sister? Did you speak to my brother? Did you speak to my other brother? And that's what she does. And he would say no. And so she wouldn't accept him. She's like, I'm not going to engage with you if you're not engaging with my siblings. And I'm looking at this girl. I'm like, well, shit, I'm looking at McKelty really different now. Really. And she did say, I'm not I don't have the relationship with Robin before. And this is the only question he really asked. And he's like, the why of it. I forgot how he phrased it, but you'll take a look at it. And she said, because I don't know if she singled me out because, God, when she said what she said, she broke my heart. Because she said, Robin came at a time when I needed a mother. God, James, that just almost made me teary. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Oh
Right.
my
Wow.
God. When I tell you, like I felt that. Like
Yeah.
I didn't even want to talk about it because it just might make me cry. I don't like crying in public. And it's like, what? And it's like Robin recognized that she was lost, that she needed that mother figure. And even Tony said she is an overprotective mother, but she's a mother. Fuck. There were 3 other women there who were mothers, and no one is saying that they were mothers. So McKelty is questioning, did she single me out because I would be a way in? I could reel her in,
Right.
make her family, or did she really help me? So then this is where he came out as a psychologist, and I understood it. Don't look for the reason why. Look for the fact she was there when you needed her and she helped you as a mother. But I agree with McKelty because the place that I think McKelty is coming from, and she didn't say it, but I'm kind of thinking, does she feel responsible? Like, did she help in the destruction of her family, by validating Robin, and that's what I thought, what she felt. And I was like, okay, so she's making all the moves because she's a grown woman and she spoke as a grown woman. She's like, I need to move because I need to get back to my family, to my husband, to my 3 children, and I need to do what works for us. And it was hard for her. And she didn't even complain. She didn't say it that way. She just, matter-of-factly stated, this is what I was doing. And I get it. I just totally get it. I have such respect for this girl. I'm like, you know what? You acting like the real older sister. And when he did ask about Mary, she gave an example. And the example was something innocuous. They were kids of 7 or 8 or whatever, and they're at the table and they're being funny and sticking their tongue out. And, Mary's way of doing things is yelling and sending you out for a punishment. She said that Mary was not physical. All right. So I'm like, okay, so Mary was one of those, them people that just like to yell and you punish, but you make one person the example. And then everybody else got away. So she is in her room and everybody else is laughing and joking. They're still doing what they're doing, but she got singled out. And you know what? And I could see she was probably maybe the loudest, the one who made her feelings known, the one who stood up for herself. Because look at what she was doing for her family that could have been the detriment of her marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So, she made those important points. I'm not going to, go over the whole thing because I want you to see it. But the way David got this is he DM'd her. He really asked her, I would love to see you. Now, maybe not so much McKelty, or maybe McKelty would be open to it. You know what? I don't even want, well, this is me in my head. So this is me expressing in my head what I would like for you. The channel is just my own thoughts. You know what you want to do and what you got to do. I would rather you reach out and speak to the children than to these adults, because I think that they're never going to be 100% honest. Getting back to what Christine said, remember, this is 2024. This was before her book, right?
Mm.
This is dialogue that TLC is probably making her say. And I'm going to say making her say because I don't think she really believed when she said he is a good man. She could have said he was. And I think that's what we're all struggling with. You're saying he is. No, he's not. Maybe he was. And even McKelty said it. I grew up with a really cool, fun, loving dad.
Mm.
And then she went to explain other things about his personality. So I'm not too angry at Christine because I know this is TLC script. And she did say on the Sarah Fraser show, Cody gave the ideas to the producers and the producers reached out to David and David said yes. My problem is that this is when Christine should have said no. We could be adults and we could talk about something, but this brother husband joke is not cute. these two going out is not good. And this is where I have a problem with them, because they don't stand on truth. They don't stand for their family. Do you really think that your kids want to see their dad and their stepdad hanging out and having a good time like nothing? I don't think so.
Right.
I really, in my heart of hearts, I don't think so. And the fact that, you have the ability to say no. I mean, you have a contract, but I don't think that contract states you have to do everything we say, because we're going to sue you like they did with the guy from Kate Plus 8. Evidently, he put his foot down and put an end to things, and he got sued for millions, or they are suing him. There's always recourse. But in Christine's case, you really need to draw the line. You really need to draw the line, and she doesn't. And it just bothers the fuck out of me. Like, I want to grab her by her hair and just like shake her and see if maybe we could get her brain snapped in and make sense. Now, as far as Megatron, my girl, I would consider maybe, you'll need to talk about it. I didn't hear this theory because I was on vacation. It makes great sense. And just to get your traction, Megatron girl, I think maybe you should go on these sites where they mentioned you and say, listen, this is who I belong to. Well, not who I belong to. This is the channel I subscribe to. This was my theory. So if you're going to run with it, it's not fact. It's something we thought about, but this is what we discussed, or this is what I had, however you want to put it, because I don't want it, this is me thinking like, I'm producing your show or something, anything negative, because I really feel that what you're doing, what you're putting out there is the right thing, because there could have been people early on who were maybe thinking about it, when they saw the show and, oh, it looks good, and they ran with it. And they could be in the same predicament as some of the OG3. And they don't have a restriction on social media, and things that you're saying, that we're saying as a community, as what's going on, would help people. Because a lot of things, it's not just Sister Wives. A lot of things, like when we talk on Saturdays, and even when we talk here, when it's Sister Wives, we're talking about the fact that this is morally wrong, that we have this salacious, narcissistic man putting all this crap out here. We do have problems with the manosphere, with all these men wanting to bash women. We have a president that wants to take away all our rights. So to know that we can fight back. We can make our life better. And I would rather see you reach out to other children. I don't know if you want to do McKelty again or Peyton. Peyton might be a little loose cannon, because I just think Peyton needs to see a grief counselor and needs therapy, because, that was his best bud. That was his brother. And I feel for him. My brother died in 1986. Sometimes it feels like last week, and sometimes it feels like it just happened yesterday. You just, some days are better than others. Right. And I'm fearful for these kids, because, when McKelty said I needed a mother, okay, so now I know why Garrison did what he did. And suicide is the worst thing, because the devastation you leave behind is incredible. Right. It's not the way. So I get fearful for these kids, and they're not even my blood. And like, I got to stop caring so much. But, there's a platform here that could be of help, because some of these content creators are, just like Sarah Fraser. I can't take her. Like, she's just, too much BS for me, and sensationalism. Notes to Self gives me, that background and that understanding, and puts things in perspective. And, when I watch David once in a while, like, I'm looking for that mental health professional explanation, or just understanding. And to me, and I didn't leave, to my credit, I didn't put anything on his page like, next time Allison shouldn't do this, because I don't know if she's a psychologist as well, to be frank. I don't know. If she is, well, she didn't act like one. She fangirled, and I don't know, it was like the cat got his tongue. Like, he let her take over. So I don't know, did he want to observe? Did he feel more comfortable for her to do? I didn't think it was handled professionally, and maybe that's not what he wanted. But I'm like, if you're going to have an opportunity, then take it and do it right, and do a deep dive. Don't pussyfoot around. because you might not have the opportunity again. Because, for McKelty, and she said it, like, I don't have a problem people hating my dad. I just don't need you to come in my face and tell me. And, Allison did say, I don't like him because I love your mother. So she cleaned it up.
Right.
But no, I maybe Peyton, some of the other kids, but McKelty did say she wished Janelle would write a book. Now, really quick, because I know you're trying to keep a time here. With Janelle, to my understanding, when you're in the military, you have to have a will and you have to name your beneficiary. And it was Janelle. I don't think Cody would be able to contest the will. I know wills can be contested, but when it comes to the military, like I would have to, I didn't, while I was waiting, I should have called my cousin and asked her because she's retired military. I don't think he could have, but I wouldn't put anything past him.
Right.
But Janelle did say, and Maddie said it, and Janelle never said, I settled this with your father. So, in one scene, Maddie's like, and Janelle's like, well, this is lost because it could be a gift. And then in the other, he's saying he settled it. Like, this man just lies out of his ass all day, every day.
Right.
And this is what bothers me with TLC. So when just to bring it all up and say the responsibility of the mic is TLC. And TLC needs to sit back and look just what the fuck they're putting on TV, because it is garbage. I never thought I would be that person that's like, what happened to the censors? Because what you're putting in there, I guess with the political climate, you're validating the world we're living in that we're trying to fight back. Okay? And it's just, it's irresponsibility to the nth degree. So like you're telling your young people coming up, yeah, it's okay. Sell yourself, do this, do that, do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter who you hurt. And even if you hurt yourself, just looking at some of these shows that they have, I don't have the channel. So I had to watch it on HBO, but I don't care how mad you get when you're doing your recaps. I'm not watching another episode because now I got to get this venom out of my system, because like, I just can't with it. But this show and it's really TLC, but I don't know, this show just really needs to come to an end. I don't know how they're doing a season 21. I don't know how these women are staying on it. Like Janelle, I forgot that Janelle got the proceeds and the whatever, so she didn't really push for the money until now they bought Tater Farms. So she's also financially strapped, because she said they put the permits early and the permits are 3 months behind. They haven't got the permits to plant, so they lost the fall planting season.
Right.
So, and in the fall is where you're going to plant your flowers, like your bulbs, your lilies, your daffodils, all these beautiful flowers that you would get. And to make the bouquets, she can't do it. The spring planting is not going to be, the flowers are not that beautiful and that long lasting, right? So she does need the money. But the point that you made, look how fast they built. Yeah, because Cody never had any intention of building for his family. If you go back, notes to self, I don't know when they said it, but according to her father, there was a sit down with Cody and Robin, and Cody was trying to get them to give him permission to build an AUB complex on Coyote Pass, that he would be the head preacher or whatever it is. He could be a prophet.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So, it's not even Sister Wives. It should be renamed Polygamy Will Hurt You, or The Fall of Polygamy, or The Reality of Polygamy. This is what polygamy is, the reality of polygamy. That you will be a second-class citizen. You got to be a brood mare. You don't count because you have your priesthood leader, and whatever he says goes. But the one thing, and I'm going to stop because, I know there's other people waiting. The one thing, and so when you watch it, focus on McKelty, focus on Tony. Now I forgot, I lost my train of thought, because once I start getting this venom out, I just, I lose it. But pay attention to those two, because they really do answer the questions that have bothered us.
Mm.
They do say it. Like, Tony says, Cody on his own is a lot of fun. And, you know, they talk about it. But this guy, like, you're giving a platform to this salacious, malignant narcissist, and it's got to stop. So if they do watch, if they do listen, they just need to end this shit. They really need to end it, because at the end of the day, you're putting this venom out to the public, but you're also hurting these other kids. Which, by the way, when you look on HBO, it now says Cody Brown navigating 3 ex-wives, his wife, and 17 children. So they already took Big G out of the equation.
Right.
It's just like, motherfucker.
Yeah. But thank you so much for calling in, Linda. I appreciate it.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I heard that. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right, bye. Yeah, welcome back from vacation. Just real quick. Well, actually, I'll do that as a smaller form video. But somebody had wrote a reply to something Linda was talking about. I'm not sure about this. This is just what they were saying from Julianne Kinkle said you have and this is kind of what I understood it to be. You have SGLI, which is a serviceman group life insurance, up to max $500,000. It's a service insurance that you pay into, which most soldiers select. It is term insurance while you are in a small, while you're in the military or whatever, and it's a small cost taken from your check. So that you put in a little bit of money and you get the benefit of life insurance. The only thing I guess I would be curious about is that would cover any benefits that would be issued by the military, that particular will that he would sign for the military, but it may or may not include personal property, which is outside of the military or his service purview. That's the only thing I would be curious about. And the way this family does stuff, like I'm at this point, I hazard to guess on how they set it up. But thank you so much, Julianne, for your input. Next up, we have Sacred Cow. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey.
How's everything? I can hear you. You sound good.
Okay, good. Okay, so just a second. Okay, so I have thoughts mainly about the episode, I guess. Kind of the first part to me was 1 minute, Cody's terrible. We feel bad for these women. Next thing you know, he's a good man. It's like, how much more invested can you get? You feel like, I don't know, gaslit, or like, oh, they're playing in our faces. You ever have like somebody who's in like a toxic relationship, and then, they get out of it, and then you're all mad at the guy, and then they go back to the person again.
It's and that's actually something that I said on Sunday after watching the episode. Because every now and again I'll get somebody to ask, like, if you ran into Cody or Robin in the street, what would you say to him? And this is why I wouldn't say anything, because at the end of the day, I'll be going crazy, and then Cody call the cops, I'm serving time, and then while I'm in jail, I get to watch an episode of Sister Wives where they all come out and be like, he's a good man. Like, why the hell am I cussing him out? Busting a feud with him, and y'all saying he's a good dude. Like, I want to first information that he was a bad person. He needs to be stopped. Like, what?
I got whiplash.
Right. So I mean and I agree with Linda. I think some of that is put in by the production team. The only thing, and that's what I wanted to say to Linda, I did slip my mind though, is that the only thing I would say is the same way Cody and Robin for years have refused to say things or talk about things on the show, Christine has that same power, if not more at this point. So if you didn't want to meet with Cody or hang out with Cody, she had every right to say no.
Yeah.
So I agree with Linda on that point. And to your point, like, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah,
and then the question about Garrison's photo, I actually spotted it last episode in that like hoarder garage where Aurora was in there talking about, her boyfriend. There was like this like desk off to like the side, and his picture was like propped against it, like the wall, not even hung up. In that hoarder space, where the things are sky high. So yeah, Robin really probably can't see it.
Wow.
And then so people sending Cody messages as well. I'm not sure how much of that I believe. I mean, I know there's, even the worst people have some followers, Manson or whatever, but it's like, really, you didn't save any of them? You really think Cody didn't save it? You know what I mean? His ego, like he probably has a whole file of them,
Right.
just going through it if that's the case. And I'm like, I hope whoever the one is they talked about, if that person is like, if he actually got the messages, I hope it was like a catfish. Like, hey, Mary, right? Is that you?
Well, because even with that, like that's one of the things that he would have to worry about, because he's saying like, oh, I'm so awesome, I'm so handsome, I'm so entertaining, and my riz is so high that all these women are coming for me trying to talk to me. And the sheer fact that you're on TV, anybody who tries to talk to you after you're on television, you always have to be skeptical about why they're trying to get in touch with you. You understand what I mean? Like if you were, I don't know, like let's just roll it back to if you're just a regular, everyday, average, waiter / actor, right? And you meet somebody and they think that you're handsome and you're good looking, or you have all the charm in the world, you can kind of take that for what it is, because there's no upside to it. There's no alternative motive. Like, oh, I got to get the guy who has access to the salad bar. Like, that's not a thing. But if you're a guy and you're constantly working with like these very famous people, like Michael B. Jordan or Brad Pitt or whoever, and you're working with these ultra, sex symbol type people, wealthy people, and it's known that you're that person, you're going to get interest. There are going to be women who contact them because they want to be on the show, And so if there were people contacting them, especially being as though, your last run with the last 3 women you had, anybody who contacted me after 3 divorces, I'd be like, yeah, they probably just trying to get on the show.
Right. And then I'm also like, how did all these people get your contact information? Did they just send you a DM? How did they get your email address?
Right.
And that was the case too, because he said email. And I'm like, goodness, these people need CAT scans or something. They're sending you this stuff.
Either that or he on the dating sites. Just saying.
Oh, Lord. I can see it now. OnlyFans is the next one coming.
Right.
Oh, God. Could you imagine? And then, so in that same conversation, they're talking about, will we do polygamy? Will we not do polygamy? Robin, her face. Oh, this lady, I don't think she wants polygamy.
No.
She just like looked like she saw a ghost or something. And then she's like, well, if there's a new wife that comes in, I would think she would need to talk to me first to get my blessing. And I'm like, hold on. Did you get Janelle and Christine's before you pop in the family?
Right.
Oh, my goodness. And then they want David to have some play date with Cody or whatever. And by that same accord, if David should have a play date, why shouldn't Christine with Robin?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe she can go tour the new mansion and, have tea party with Robin's dolls or whatever. All both of you go bond.
Right. And if anything, and I said the same thing on Sunday, like when rubber meets the road, let's be honest. It's less important that David and Cody have a relationship as opposed to Cody and Christine, and even Christine and Robin, because your daughter is going over to her house, potentially. And you guys technically have a relationship. So it will make more sense. Like Christine should be more vested. Like the tie is through you, not through David. So like you don't even want to go meet with these people. So why would I go meet with them?
Right. And it's like, okay, how about instead of David, why don't, Cody try to see Truly? That's the one that needs to meet with him.
Right. Go see your kids. And that's another thing. Instead of trying to facilitate it so Cody can hang out with David, make it so he hangs out with Gwendolyn or Aspen. You know what I mean? Facilitate that relationship. But it's just weird. It's weird. Did you have anything else you want to talk about?
I really think that's about it, actually. There wasn't much that happened in the episode, so I'll go ahead and get off of this one.
And that's another part of it. A lot of the episodes are starting to and that's the weird thing too, because it's historically when I reviewed the episodes, there was something that happened in the episode where I could kind of latch into it and I remembered what was happening. so many of these episodes, and this is how you know the show is kind of tanking. So many of the episodes this season, I couldn't tell you what happened during the course of the season because so much of it is so inconsequential or such a waste of time. Like they were saying earlier, we watched them put 4 or 5 desks together at this
Yeah.
point. Like, what are we doing? So
Right. It's like you're giving us this stuff we don't need. Like nobody asked to see Mary's speed date. Nobody asked to see them build furniture with IKEA or whatever.
mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really. Oh, and then Cody. How about Cody in that group chat with Janelle and Mary? And he's just creepy. He's like, I don't know, doing his best PB Herman. Like, I heard any good jokes lately?
yeah.
And then the dog's on there too, and it's like, sir, the dog's ready to growl at you. I was waiting for that dog to bark at him.
yeah. That conversation was terrible. And I
Like,
was
are we
waiting
getting
for
more of that
somebody to
this
say,
season?
look, we're here to talk about we could do the business first, and if anybody wants to hang on after we finish the business and have this kind of conversation, that's fine. But I'm here to talk about Coyote Pass.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not doing knock jokes with my ex-husband, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, or somebody who just owes you money. Like, you owe me money.
Right.
So I don't want to joke with you. I don't ever want to, and that's the thing too, because that's what I was saying on Sunday. I don't want to have a thing where we start this conversation and we playing and joking around, and you misinterpret or give you the leave to say that things that I said during this conversation was a joke. I want everything in this conversation to be deadly serious. Like, so no, I don't want to joke around. I want to be professional. Let's have the conversation about what we're doing and how we're going to do it, how we're dividing the land up, where we can meet, whatever we need to talk about. And then we can break there and say, okay, we're done with that. Done. And if you want to continue a conversation, you can talk to Mary and I'll just get off, or whatever the case may be. But I would just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's kind of leaving Mary on the way, because I still think, like, if she had that little in with him, I still don't think she would get back with him. She'd Forrest Gump her way all the way back over to him.
Yeah. I'm back.
Oh gosh. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here then. Y'all have a good night and everything else.
All right, thank you so much, Sacred Cow. Appreciate you. Excellent job.
Bye.
All right. Oh, that's what I also wanted to address. I have a super chat. Then I'm going to Caramel Cutie. Should be the last call for the evening. But real quick, we had a super chat from Becky S. Starfire 84 RN with the $5 super chat. Every time it's a little different. I love how you give your real life perspective, James. I've learned a lot from you. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I want to do a video. I can't wait till I get this done, because I want to do a video about that. Like just like youth, being wasted on the young, and then contrast what it's like to be an older person and the perspective of that. So that'll be something I'll be kicking off. But thank you so much, Becky. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. How about that? Because it wouldn't be much of a group without you guys. So let me give you a little something. Where's my something's at? Oh, and before I get too far afield, I'm going to pull Caramel Cuties up. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you're still here. I should have said it earlier. Again, not doing my due diligence on YouTube. But make sure you hit that like button. To worry about the conversation and the entertainment than to actually try to do the business side of the show. But it's something that Jody Pierce Scholar brought up earlier about me being offended. Let me be very clear. One, I don't offend easily. For the first part, I guess I'm a stereotypical Gen Xer. In that respect, I'm not. If anything, I've had to curb a lot of my own personal instincts because people might be a little more sensitive about certain things or subject matters than I am. So, and I recognize that. So I don't offend easily. If you guys, and one of the things that I don't want is I don't ever want you guys to feel like you can't say what's on your mind. All right. Because even if I disagree with you, it's it's fine. Like, I respect the fact that we have a difference of opinion because we have different life experiences. We have different levels of education. We have different, you know, even if we were sitting in the same classes and we achieved the same level of understanding or the same level of education, our understanding of said material would be completely different because we're putting our perspective and our take, and we're coming at it from different points of view. So I'm there. I'm not one of them people. You can disagree with me. You can like who you want to like. If you watch this person, if you like somebody's channel more than mine, I have people on tonight who have like been in my lives and stuff like, oh, my other person's coming on, so I'm out because I'm going over to that. I'm not offended. Right. I recognize the fact and I'm comfortable with I'm comfortable in my skin. I'm comfortable that, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm comfortable. I might not be everybody's favorite. That's fine. Right. Or maybe you like something different, or maybe you like me and somebody else. That's cool too. You know? As long as you as long as you're cool when you come in and you're respectful to everybody and we're having a good time and you're not tearing people down or trying to tear people up or chew people up or troll people, I don't have a problem with it. The only time I have problems with people in the chat or people voicing, articulating certain perspectives is when they come in and they're intentionally trying to stir up some foolishness or nonsense, or they're trying to aggravate people, embarrass or humiliate somebody for having an opinion. That's the only time I get my ire up. But other than that, if you like this content creator or that content creator, I am not insulted. I am not offended. Far from it. Like I said, like I'm happy for Pop Psych getting getting a McKelty interview. That's awesome. That's awesome for them. You know what I mean? Good for them. They hustled, they did the work, they got the reward. It's awesome. I'm not mad. It is what it is. So, but I appreciate you guys for that. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, we have, let me just check one thing real quick before I pull Caramel Cuties up. Megatron, my take on reality is the best. F what they talk about. That's what I'm talking about, son. Megatron, the real one. Ride and die. Yeah, but no, don't ever feel like, and that's the thing too, like, because I talk all the time, just as a real quick, and I'm gonna call Karma Cuties up, but just as a real thing, like even in relationships, I talk all the time about people who you might pair off with, who try to dim or diminish your light because they're afraid that it might outshine theirs or compete with theirs. I'm not that person. I think that we're all put here to try to encourage others to shine as bright as they can. I'm not going to try to diminish my light to make anybody else feel comfortable. And if anything, I want my light to shine brighter because hopefully my lights shine will inspire other people to allow their lights to shine brighter. And then if their luminescence is greater than mine, or rivals mine, it'll only encourage me to shine brighter. We'll challenge each other, we'll grow with each other, we'll develop each other, and we become better with each other. But I don't receive any benefit if you cut yourself short or you undercut yourself or you don't, give your perspective or your opinion because it might compete with mine or diminish mine. I am not so thin-skinned or so short-sighted that I think that I'm somehow better if you don't talk or give your opinion. If anything, you weaken the discourse by not being involved, by not giving your opinion, by not giving your side, by not shining as bright as you can. You've made the world a darker place. So by all means, when you're here, this is a place I want to cultivate, a place where you can come, you can be yourself, you can voice your opinion, give your side. Hell, since I've started these lives and since I've been on this Sister Wife stuff, I have openly invited Cody, Robin, anybody who supports Cody and Robin. I don't want to sit here and argue with you. I don't want to, go back and forth. I want to have a legit conversation with you. I want to understand it. For somebody who supports Cody and Robin, I want to understand what it is you see, what it is they're doing that you agree with. I genuinely want to, I'm not even being facetious. I'm not being sarcastic. I want to understand. I want to have that conversation. And I think that in our discourse, whether it's political or personal, whatever, there's too much people trying to get their point across or debate. Like we have a debate culture now where everybody just wants to be right and nobody's trying to understand anybody else. They're not trying to listen to understand what your perspective is. I want to understand. I'm trying to bring that shit back. I want to make it hot again. Right? I want to understand. I want to understand when Cody and Robin get up and they make these crazy ass statements. Where do you get that from? Why would you say that? When you're sitting there talking to the young man Brody, do you feel like you got to protect her from yourself? What? Where do you get that? Why do you feel like you need to compete with this dude and his new love when you have a seasoned, established love with our mom? If anything, they should be trying to aspire to be like you, Cody and Robin, as opposed to you guys trying to be like them with that new, fresh love. That seasoned, established love, the love that has gone through struggles, endured the fires and flames of disappointment and heartache and loss, celebrated together. That's a love to be celebrated. That's a love to be admired. That's a love to aspire to. Dating somebody because you think they cool and you like that, you think they buttocks is tight. Like, does he look at you with the affections? Does he look at you with that amazement gaze? You mean like lust? You sitting like, I'm gonna tear that ass up. Like that's does he look at you like I look at your mother? You've been through things with that woman. He hasn't been through anything with her daughter. I don't expect him to look at her with that type of admiration. If he looking at her any kind of way, he looking at about what he gonna do to her when he get that check. I think he already doing stuff. I don't think they went all the way yet, but I think that they got that thing where she's thinking about it. But you know, I just I don't know. But we're gonna call Carm. Oh shit, where Carmel Cuties go? I don't talk too much. Oh, she had to bounce. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, Carmel Cutie. Oh, she had to vote. Oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta take care of that business. Gotta take care of that business. James talked too long. Yeah, right. All right. Well, that's that, guys. But yeah, I appreciate everybody hanging out. As far as everything goes, I will be let's check the poll real quick and then we can bounce out. Let me I can't get it. Okay, here we go. Here's the poll, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get rid of this first. All right. So the poll is, should I do a reaction video on the Pop Psych interview with McKelty and Tony? 88% of you said yes, so I guess I'll be doing it. It won't we'll see how it works out. I don't think it'll be as much a reaction or criticism video as much as it is I'll be just trying to glean information from whatever it is they put out. You know. So we shall see. All right. Yeah, but I'm very excited about things coming up. We have some things in the work, and we're gonna make it happen. All right. Okay. So we get some mixed reviews. Some people are very interested in the Pop Psych stuff, some not so much. We'll see. I'll give my perspective on it. And again, it's not necessarily a criticism because I think a little behind the scenes too, just so we have put things into perspective. When you do these types of interviews, especially if it's a loner interview where you have somebody who is, from a bigger channel or bigger platform like a TV show or whatever, they may have stipulations as to what you can ask about, what you can talk about, what they'll talk about, what they feel comfortable with discussing, and things that they absolutely will not talk about or touch, like third rail. So we're not privy to what, and this is why I don't really feel comfortable doing a criticism per se. Well, I'll say that now. I haven't seen the video yet. But out of the gate, I don't necessarily feel as comfortable just jumping into a criticism like they ain't shit, about Pop Psych or any content creator who does these type of interviews, because I don't know what their agreement is. Maybe they say I'm going in hot, but the person they're talking to is like, look, if you ask about this, I will cut this. So we'll see. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. Before we go, let me give a shout out to some of our folks. We have Jody Periscala. We have Michelle Woods in the house. We have Treasure. Welcome. Love the name Treasure. So I see myself as a treasure. There you go. We had Unlimited Lipstick, Janet in the house. We also had Becky S in the house. We had Lizzie B with a little surprise, allegedly try to keep us on point, keep us on the air. Of course, Jody Periscala, Betty Aldridge, OG Triple OG, Kathy Mosley. Yeah, we had some fun tonight. And then big shout out to everybody who called in as well. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We have some big things coming up. I'm very excited about trying to roll out some different type content, seeing what you guys think about it, as well as we'll continue our discussion on Sister Wives. I'll look at the Pop Psych interview, and I won't promise a video. It might, like Linda said, it might just turn into a discussion on live streams. But I will take a look at it and see if there's anything that I can extrapolate from that to turn into a video. All right, I'll say it that way. All right. But thank you guys so much for hanging out. Big shout out to the Mega Mod. Sorry to get to you, Caramel Cuties. Big shout out to Lizzie B. Brittany, not Brittany. I didn't necessarily see you in the chat tonight, but big shout out to her. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you guys for coming in. Thank you for being super cool. Remember, keep that light shining bright to help to light the way for the people around you so that you can help to make this world a brighter place. Because without you, it's just shady existence. So thank you guys so much. That's my take. I'm James, and this has been my take on reality call-in show, and we out here. So take care.
'Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side, yeah.